Terrorists are not welcome in my city. Tell that thy majesty need be excused.
You ready? Yes, inshallah. Let's go.
Wow. 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 Talk about crazy. Oh, my bad. I thought I was on a screen. Hey, Marshmallow High, what's up for 100 gems? Still not sure what the gems do, but thank you so much. Thank you so much. Kofi 2A holding it down on the kick. Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Lisa Eder, awesome to have you. What the F? What's going on, man? Good to see you. Finch, very accurate video, I know. Hey, Jules, what's up? Hey, how you doing, Jules? Great to see you. Finch is here. How you doing? Miss Gatlin's here. What's up? What's up? What's up? Lisa Faltersack, did everyone see Elon pledge $100 billion for historically accurate Odyssey? Yeah, they're going to make it all with Grok, I believe. Going to be made all with AIOGFC something. Kimby's here. What's up, Kimby? Sanglance here. What's up? How you doing? Timothy, good to see you. None of your business is here. Let's go. What's the haps? How's it going? Hey, Jerry, what's up? Good to see you. Pat, how you doing? Jay Schwartz, good to see you. HJ Remy, Jonathan Marcus. Hey, everybody's here tonight. That's just great. That's just grand. That's just groovy. So, yeah, so the show's going to be just like any – wow, what's going on here? Why am I so dark? Show's going to be just like any other show, you know, like they say. For every $100 in total that comes in across all platforms, YouTube Super Chats, Rumble Rants, becoming a member or gifting a member on YouTube, Rumble, Kick, Twitch, and Locals, along with Locals coins, Cash App, PayPal, Coffee, Ko-Fi, and Super Tips. We add it all up when we hit 100. We add an extra hour. For each additional 100 that comes in, we add another additional hour to the show. The show could be as long as you guys want it to be. 2 hours, 3 hours, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And then when we hit 50, we activate Bell-Vision for the evening. Unless somebody is so generous that they donate $20 or greater as an individual, then we automatically activate Bell-Vision for the evening. So thank you all. And let us get ready to rumble or something like that. Yes, what's up? What's up, Hope? How you doing? Great to see you. Anne Marie's here too. What's up, Lurch Linger? What's up? Great to see you, Lurch. So yeah, let's do this. There's a couple things before we jump into the first news story. A couple of quick little things I wanted to cover. President Trump says that he informed Iran that America will begin seizing their cash to pay for any and all damages to ships, cargo, or anything related. The UN has over $2 billion of Iran's cash assets in our possession. The U.S., I'm sorry. Iran has not had a chance to get it back. Iran had a chance, not anymore.
President Trump is warning of major military punishment if Iran-backed Houthi rebels continue threatening shipping in the Red Sea. Meanwhile, the Islamic Republic and Great Britain are exchanging harsh words. Chief International Correspondent Steve Harrigan, live in Tel Aviv tonight. Good evening, Steve.
Good evening, Brett. That's right. Iran's Revolutionary Guard making threats of its own, saying that air bases in Britain are legitimate targets due to the fact that U.S. B-1 bomber raids are taking place from air bases in Britain. The Revolutionary Guard saying now those bases could come under attack by Iran. Britain's government responding quickly, saying the UK stands ready 24/7 to defend itself. Of course, those B-1 bombers now in use carry a huge conventional payload, 75,000 pounds of weapons. They can be refueled in the air. They don't have stealth capability, but when you control the skies, you don't need stealth, and that's the case for much of Iran at this point. As far as U.S. forces go, the 12th night in a row last night, they hit military targets inside Iran. President Trump has warned that civilian infrastructure targets could come into play as targets. That's if Iran continues to target civilian shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. As far as Kuwait goes, it is being hit again tonight by Iran, by drone attacks from Iran. Alarms going off there. So far, reports of damage, no reports of casualties in Kuwait. And finally, as you mentioned, oil topping now $100 a barrel. This is a result of an attack by Houthi terrorist rebels in Yemen on 2 Saudi tankers in the Red Sea. Those attacks with missiles and drones set one of those tankers alight. The result is spike in oil prices, but also the possibility for a second front in this war. President Trump warning, if the Houthis continue to attack Saudi shipping, they could be in for major military punishment. Brett, back to you.
Steve Harrigan, live in Tel Aviv. Steve, thanks.
Well, that's awesome that they're going to start actually doing something. Gypsy says, wow, I'm on time for once. Hey, hit the like. Fully waiting today's news. Well, we're going to get into a bunch of it. Did you see Coke's new ad campaign looks like a Marlboro ad with the same font? No, I didn't see it. That would be great. You want to post it in there or something, Kofi? I'll pull it up. Pat Hacker, good to see you. Great to see you. Timothy says the taxes for defending America, especially now that Congress wants to hide their voters. Yeah. Stuff happens, you know. And then there was another thing. Let me see it here. Quick. The UK responded.
Revolutionary Guard is now threatening the United Kingdom, basically saying, because you have allowed the U.S. to use your air bases to launch B-1 bomber missions against Iran, that your bases now are legitimate military targets for Iran. The UK responded quickly, saying the UK stands ready 24/7 to defend itself. As far as that B-1 bomber goes, this is really a game changer. It carries 75,000 pounds of conventional weapons. They are huge. They don't need stealth features if you do control the sky, which is the case in much of Iran. They can be refueled in the air, and they can hit multiple targets on the same mission. So really a potent weapon now being used in the region. And it comes as oil has now topped $100 a barrel. This comes after Houthi terrorist rebels in Yemen managed to attack and strike 2 Saudi tankers in the Red Sea. By doing so, they've caused the price of oil to spike and also potentially raised a potential second front in this war. Martha.
Yeah, wow. Second front. We'll see what happens. The Houthis got nowhere to hide. I want to thank everyone who came over from watching the Watchers over there from Robert Cavea. Thank you all for coming. Please give me a chance. Stick around for a little while. You know, give us a like, a thumbs up. You know, maybe subscribe to the channel. We're trying to grow. We try to bring news every night, a variety of news, whatever's topical on the day, and just try to cover as much as possible. Oh, Lisa, what's up? The B-1 Lancer. That's a great plane. Great plane. Yada, yada, yada. That's what I say. Richard, what's up? Good to see you. Thank you for the raid. Thank you, Brenda, for coming over. Shadowing says, hello, Jim, me, my beautiful Bella. That's right. Delay, what's up? Good to see you. Alan Sparks is here, too. And we got a rant already. Wow, I'll check that out. The more common sense you have, the crazier you will appear to those who are deficient. I agree. Big rant. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Whoa. Whoa. Wow, I'll say that is a big rant. $50 from Anne Marie for Bella Treats. Thank you so much. Wow, that gets another. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That means that Bella, although she's decided to take a trip off of her bed for some reason. Let me go over here and put the camera on her. There she is. She's over here chewing on paws and stuff. She's nervous. When she gets nervous, she chews on her paws. So You made her all nervous. It's so early to get her in here tonight. That's right. Bella time. Yes. Welcome watching the watchers. You go, girl. That's right. Yo, getting the stuff together for tonight's show tonight. Awesome. Awesome. What time you starting? If you're going to be running, I could probably throw a raid your way. Glad to be here. Awesome. Thanks. Thank you so much for the rant, for the big rant. Wow. So with that rant, folks, that means we are now just $50 away from adding an additional hour to the show. That's a big money. No whammies. Thank you. Wow. Dan, what's up? She disappeared. She's found now. Hey, Zom, what's up? Good morning. Good evening. 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. on YouTube, 9 until 9 on Rumble. Oh, well, if I'm still going, I'll throw a raid your way. $6 today per gallon, regular in South California. Oof. That is rough. So there's one other story in here. A couple things. Elon Musk was on a tear today, making some statements, and the media tries to go at him, and Elon Musk just ain't having it. Elon Musk goes right back at him.
Why people loathe you. I mean, some people do loathe you.
Yes, some people do.
But do you understand why? Do you think what you're doing is helpful for Western democracy?
Maybe some people do loathe me. And that's probably true. I don't care. But the fact that, as you pointed out, 250 million people follow me is that I think a lot more people actually like me than don't. And I think a lot more people hate you and the media more than you realize.
Damn, he told her, you guys suck in the media. Elon just laid down the smack and said, 250 million people follow me. And, how many people follow you? Have a nice day. There was one other one here. And another good one from Elon. Elon was just on a tear, man. Elon is so based. I'm telling you right now, I don't know where this country would be if it wasn't for Elon Musk. Him buying Twitter probably was will be looked back on as the biggest factor in what saved this country.
I don't think there's any racism there.
Are you anti-Muslim?
I'm against having if people are coming to a country with antithetical views, I am against that. I'm against that. I'm against I'm against rape and murder.
Everyone who can't be against rape and murder.
The imposition of rules and laws that are contrary to what we've come to accept in the West. And I think it's a crying shame that the sort of traditional media like you don't recognize this.
Why should you be able to shape European politics?
Wow. Why should you be able to yeah, that's what they want to know. Why should he be able to shape European politics? Well, it's possible that he just is spreading the truth. And by spreading the truth, they don't like it. There was one more, man. There was one more that someone, there was another one from him. Let's see if I can find it real quick before we get into the news. Oh, you guys saw this about this, that they put this woman on trial, the one that used the N-word. So they have her on trial, which I thought we had freedom of speech in America. I guess not anymore. This is crazy that this is going on.
Look back at the circumstances of this case. It starts out with something that every mom can relate to. This woman went to a park near her home in Rochester. She put her bag down, her diaper bag down. She's chasing her 18-month-old son around the park. Another kid, 8 years old at the time, his dad says that he's autistic to the point where there was a GPS monitor on him, courtesy of the Rochester Police Department, because of how often.
Sorry, wait a minute. Sorry, wait. The police put a monitor on a child?
Yes. The father testified that there was a monitor on his son, courtesy of the Rochester Police Department. He was there with 3 kids. The 8-year-old, I believe, was the middle child.
Okay, so the father testifies that he has this child, he knows there's issues, and that there's a tracker on the child. Okay, I'm just going to go with that. And yet for some reason he wasn't completely on top of this boy the entire time if he knew that he had issues like this.
Yes, and also the father, who is Somalian, was speaking through a translator, and through that translator told the court that his 8-year-old autistic son with an ankle monitor does not know how to follow rules. So this boy went into the diaper bag, Shiloh Hendricks's diaper bag, pulled out a snack apparently and stuffed it in his mouth. His dad testified again through the translator that his child is very curious and likes to take things and test them out with his mouth. So that apparently is what the child had done. Miss Hendricks was angry, went over to the child, hurled these slurs at the child, and then was filmed by a third party, another Somalian man who was at the park, who then taunted her and urged her to keep saying it for the camera. And she did keep saying it. He posted it on the TikTok. And it wasn't until that video went viral and 10 days after the initial playground incident that the father of the 8-year-old contacted first the NAACP in Minnesota, and the NAACP told him to contact the police, which he then did. The NAACP then launched a fundraiser for this father.
Wow, that's just ridiculous. The NAACP, don't they have better things to do? Don't they have better things to do? And we did... I don't know. It says this users. Somebody donated $5, but it won't tell me who they are. It just says at somebody donated $5 on locals. So thank you. Thank you for the 5 on locals. It won't tell me who you are, but thank you, whoever you are. You must not be following me or something on locals, something. I don't know. So whoever it was on locals, thank you so much. That means we're now 45 away, just 45 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Yes. They charged her criminally for the N-word. Yes, they did. Yeah, they did. It's crazy. Just joined. Are we watching Freaks R Us? No, we're not there yet. We got a bunch of news. There was a couple things on X I wanted to hit right away because I thought it was good stuff to start off with before we get into the droll news, which can be. What's up? Duck Fat's here. Good to see you, Duck Fat. Series of Bats. What's up? Good to see you. Catherine K. Awesome to have you. Awesome. So she's screaming the N-word at a father and his autistic kid. I think she did say it once or twice to them. It was a kid who was like 9 or 10, not 5 as they lied about. The kid did go through her bag and was stealing shit. And it's a lot of weird stuff. The bottom line is that it's not a crime to say a word in the United States. It's not. You cannot criminalize saying a word. It's just, you can't. It's not a crime. We have the First Amendment, freedom of speech. It's pretty much tantamount. People might make this argument about, oh, but you can't yell fire in a crowded movie theater. Actually, you can. That was part of dicta of the ruling, and that ruling was overturned. So that whole thing that people quote whenever they do that, that means they don't know shit about the law. Because, hey, if there's a fire in a crowded theater, can you yell fire? Sounds like a hate crime to you. Well, there's one thing. We don't have speech crimes. There's no such thing as hate speech. Was it a hate crime when the Somali guy was filming her, taunting her, telling her to say this word, say this word, say this word? So I don't know. If there's a fire, what do you say? Grape? Yeah. Who knows? I don't think you can yell bomb on a plane. You can't, because a plane is a totally different situation. It's a special, different situation. It just is. Hey, well, thanks, Shadowwings. I enjoy having you here, too. Yeah, she was charged for disorderly conduct, not the N-word. Yeah, they charged her for disorderly conduct. Check the status of Somali. Yeah. If you want to go to prison for words, move to the UK. It's not a crime, but the cost of fighting it will be a deterrence, which is probably what they want. Yeah? Mm-hmm. That's what they want. Oh wow. Okay, I will get to that. Wow. So yeah, let's jump to this first news story of the evening. All right. The House passes a Trump-backed military bill for $1.15 billion. 1 trillion. I'm sorry, $1.15 trillion. Uh, Elon has always delivered on any funds he has received. Yeah, I think Elon might be paying for her. I don't know, maybe paying for her defense. I'm not sure. Never say hi, Jack, to Jack on a plane. Yeah, you can get in trouble. Yeah, the process is the penalty. Yeah, that amount is insane. It is. They wanted more. So Speaker Johnson speaks to reporters. The NDAA, which includes legislation requiring voter identification in federal elections, is now headed to the Senate after passing the House 219 to 206. 5 Democrats voted for the bill. Reps Don Davis, Jared Golden, Adam Gray, Vicente Gonzalez, and Mary Glusenkamp Perez. The lone Republican to oppose the legislation was, ding, 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 Thomas Massey. Mike Rogers, chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, described legislation as essential to addressing national security challenges and argued it fully funds the president's requested defense budget. Sadly, it won't pass the Senate. I don't know. It might. In a plane, you're in kind of a state of detainment. Yeah, because the plane, there's like special things. You can actually, on a ship is also, if you're on a ship, the captain of the ship basically can have you locked in a brig for certain things. Am I going to be on Good Logic tonight? I think he's going to be late. I planned on going on with him. He said late. So to me, that means after 11. So midnight, 1 o'clock. So yeah, if he sends me the link, I'll jump on with him. I follow you. Don't know why it didn't name me. Oh, that was you. Thank you so much, Gigi's mom, for the 5 on locals. I don't know why. I don't know why it says, yeah, I don't know why. It was weird. I'm just a bill sitting here on Capitol Hill. So the world's becoming more dangerous. It's never been more important to have a strong, ready, capable fighting force. Okay. Garfield, big adventure for 5. Thank you so much. Says, what are your thoughts on EBS blaming Trump's tariffs for the Rainbow to Brute toys not being delivered and being 2 years late, made in China? I don't buy it. I'm sorry. I don't believe it. Thank you for the 5. With that 5, that means folks were now just 40 away. I don't buy it. The contracts should have already been signed for those toys, and the money, he had the money, so they should have been paid for already. And they should have already been built and shipped. I don't, so whatever, if he didn't do it, then that's on him. Does he have an excuse of why the cars haven't been shipped out yet? I mean, I got my cars from Eric Weathers. I got my Battle Brick Road cars, and I'm sure Shane's cars are going to ship out as soon as he ships out the thing. So I don't know. I don't want to get it. I like EVS, but I don't know if he's just trying to make an excuse. Then I don't buy it. Just like when you go into someone's house, you don't act like an ass. Yes, it's locals, a Rumble company. Enough said. A park is a limited public forum, time, place, and manner restrictions. Yeah, but they're just saying they're charging at her with disorderly conduct. So Rogers said that after the bill passed, that the NDAA strengthens our ability to defend ourselves, and it's going to help restock America's arsenal of freedom. So it's $1.15 trillion in discretionary funds. And it solidifies Trump's commitment to bringing defense spending up to 4.5% of our GDP and to reach a top line investment of $1.5 trillion in fiscal year 2027. Wow. The bill contains several key amendments for U.S. national security, including an attachment that would expand U.S.-Israeli defense technology cooperation and integration. Israel's led the West fight against Islamic terrorism in the Middle East, successfully eliminating top Hamas, Iranian, and Hezbollah terrorists. So Massey and Ro Khanna, who voted against the bill, introduced a bipartisan amendment to strike the provision. However, the two were not successful in the effort. Yeah, they wanted to strike the provision that said we're going to like share information with Israel. Like, why wouldn't we want to share information? Garfield for another 5. I agree, Jim. It doesn't make sense. Those contracts would have been signed years ago. Hypothetically, even the tariffs, he would have plenty left. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I don't know. Is he having, see, I hate to talk about this because I'm not like, is he having issues with his warehouse or something? Is something going on? I don't know. With that 5, we are now 35 away from adding a first additional hour. Somebody, McDonald's needs to take John Thune's job. We share info into a lot of countries. Yes, we do. We share info with the Five Eyes, England, Australia, Spain, France, and Japan, I believe. Or I don't know, maybe not Germany, maybe, I don't know, maybe not Spain and France, but I don't know, a whole bunch of countries, a whole bunch. I think Americans have number fatigue. They don't understand what million, billion, and trillions actually is. It's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. So, House passes defense policy bill that attaches the Save America Act. With the final vote, Republicans agreed to attach their election integrity bill to the defense measure. So, if we'll have to see if Thune will strip it out. We need working class representatives to represent working class people in government 2-year terms. Yeah, we have those people. They're called the House of Representatives. The problem, Timothy, is that the House of Representatives does not truly represent the people anymore. If they really, people talk about reforming the Senate's doing the job that the Senate's supposed to do. It's equal representation per state. Each state gets the same representation in the Senate. That's the design of the Senate. The House is supposed to represent the people, and you're supposed to be able to actually get your congressperson on the phone or talk to them if you have a problem to be represented. The problem is we have districts that have 1 million people in them for one congressperson to 1 million people. That's insane. That is insane. Like, it should be like at the maximum should be is like 75,000 people per congressman. Max. It was 35,000 when the country was founded. 35,000 people per congressman. Now we're at 1 million. That's what needs to change. And people go, oh, we don't have enough room and it'll be this and that. Well, no, it doesn't matter. If there's, 3,000, 5,000 Congress people, they don't all need to be in Washington at the same time. They don't need huge staffs. That's why we have huge staffs now in Congress and all these ballooning budgets because, they started out, it was like a part-time job. They were only in Congress, certain times of the year, and they only pass the bills. It's not supposed to be this like full-time career thing making all this money. It's supposed to be there to serve the people. So they don't need a huge staff. If they had, if they only represented like 75,000 people, how much staff would they need for 75,000 people? 1 staffer, 2 staffers, tops. You've got Congress people that have staffs of hundreds of people in their staff. You don't need that. It's crazy. Census is fake. Just saying so with that you get what reps from whom. Yeah, well, they're remote voting anyway. Yeah, they could do. Like, that's what we would need to do. They are still on their part-time. Well, I know, but they should be paid part-time. That's my thing. Think about it. Each state if it's a big state, they could have like remote, like Capitol Hills in the state, in California, in Florida and Texas, they could have like a remote area. The Congress people go there instead of going to Washington. Think about it. Kind of makes the swamp defeats it, doesn't it? I think so. So amendments introduced by Republicans were voted on late on July 21st. How embarrassing. I got here, watched for minutes, and didn't hit the like button. Don't be like me. Subscribe while you're at it. Yes, definitely do that. Let's just, Garfield for another 5. Thank you. Says 1 million seconds is 11 days. 1 billion seconds is 31 years. 1 trillion seconds is 31,000 years, to put this in perspective. Yeah, it's crazy. It is insane. It is insane. It's insane. Thank you so much. With that, we are now just 30 away, folks. 30 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you all so much. So Treasury Department exempted from the amendment are military personnel, reserve personnel, National Guard troops, Defense Health Program accounts. The Pentagon failed its 8th consecutive audit. Oh my God. Wow. Republicans agreed to attach their election integrity bill. The House passage comes a week after Senate Democrats blocked a procedural vote to advance the NDAA in the upper chamber. The tally was 50-46. Senate Majority Leader John Thune switched his vote from yes to no so that he could again bring the motion up to invoke cloture, which requires 60 votes to overcome the filibuster. Well, thank you, Garfield. We really appreciate it. We've got technology where they don't have to leave their states. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there shouldn't be any limit. It should be, they should set a figure like, say, 75,000 people, which might be even too many, but say 75,000. A congressperson. You know? I think we would get a lot better representation. I think it would hasten the expiration of the two-party system because you would get people to be able, in small areas, you know, you'd be able to get people elected that are not in a Republican or Democrat party. You could get, you know, libertarians. You could get Green Party candidates. You could get, you know, strict constitutionalists. You could get all types of stuff, different parties. You know? Hell, make it 50,000. Every 50,000 is a congressperson. Or go all the way back to the way it was supposed to be when the country was founded. Every 35,000. What would that give us? Oh, that would give us 10,000 congresspeople. That would be like herding cats like you wouldn't believe. It would be great to watch. Maybe they wouldn't get nothing done. Maybe that would be better for everyone. The Senate Armed Service Committee advanced the bill to the Senate floor on June 11th by a bipartisan vote of 18-9. However, Democrats and Republicans failed to agree on top-line defense and non-defense spending levels. Now the White House has formally notified Congress that hostilities have resumed. American strikes are underway, yet Republicans want the Senate to take up the NDAA as though nothing is happening. See, like, that's just ridiculous. What do they want to do? The Democrats want people to die because they don't have money to defend themselves. Is that what they want? Would they ever do this with Ukraine? Think about how they acted about Ukraine getting money. How they ran around like their hair was on fire to make sure Ukraine gets money. But when it comes to our troops getting what they need so that they're protected, they're going to act like partisan assholes. Remember that. Remember that. You think that many representatives would be unwieldy? Would that be a feature or a bug? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's unprecedented to not pass the motion to proceed on the NDAA, and it reflects a decision and a mindset on part of Schumer not to cooperate at all because so much of this has been done on a bipartisan basis. It's a really new low. Well, yeah, Scummer. Chuck Scummer is his name. Remember it. So 1.15 trillion would allocate 1.1 trillion to the Department of War, more than 41 billion to the Energy Department to manage the nation's nuclear arsenal, and 11 billion to other defense-related activities. The NDAA includes a 3.6% pay raise for all military members. See, these Democrats hate the military, and they don't want them to be able to actually feed their kids. They don't want them to get paid. Would any legislation get passed, or would the grift just be magnified? The grift, I don't see how the grift would be possible, Steve. With that many people, how could they pay that many people off? How can they buy that many people? I don't think it's possible. Legislation is favored by President Trump. Critics of the bill say it would make it harder to vote, imposing strict requirements that would require most Americans to either have a passport or a copy of their birth certificate. This is a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. That many reps would have another consequence. They'd all need to get paid a lot less than they are now. Might even end career politicians. Yes, that's what I'm saying. They wouldn't be getting the $270,000 paycheck. They would be getting like, it would be a part-time job. Citizen legislatures. That's what the Congress was established to be. The House of Representatives was supposed to be farmers, blacksmiths, store owners, shopkeepers. And they were supposed to go there part-time and pass the laws that their constituency wanted. It wasn't supposed to be what we have now. It wasn't. Mm-hmm. Was not. Mm-hmm. So, next story is that U.S. forces All right. Continue operations on land and sea. So we're in our 13th consecutive day. How do you keep track of $1.5 trillion? I fear a lot of these politicians will pocket the cash for themselves. Just look at Minneapolis. Yeah. Well, I mean, with that many reps, I think it'd be, be a little different. The money would be a little less. So CENTCOM announced its 12th consecutive night against Iran. Adhering to the goal of weakening Iran's influence over the Strait of Hormuz, forces struck targets, including maritime capabilities. Like, I thought they didn't have any maritime capabilities anymore. Maybe I'm silly that I thought they said they destroyed their Navy already. The strike further degrades Iran's ability to attack civilian mariners and commercial vessels. Hey, sweet Adrian, it's great to see you. Glad to see Bella early and frisky when she decides to show up. Well, she comes. She's a cat. She does what she wants. Heard about Hassan praising Mao? Oh, yeah, Hassan's an idiot. He's a direct idiot. U.S. forces continue military operations on land. They are maintaining the blockade of Iranian ports at sea and re-implementing the blockade that CENTCOM announced, and they stopped 9 commercial vessels. More than 50,000 U.S. service members are deployed and remain highly vigilant, focused, and lethal. CENTCOM has consistently announced strikes against the Islamic Republic every night after hostilities reignited. It's like that looks an awful lot like a backhoe. So are they trying to get into where the uranium is? Is that what's going on here? Oh, those are some. Oh, look at those. Look at their Navy. Look at those ships. Wow. So now we're just destroying like construction equipment. CENTCOM says it completed a 12 consecutive night of strikes against Iranian targets. Following the death of the 4 Americans, President Trump issued stark warnings, vowing that every time Iran kills an American, they will pay for their killing many times over. From this point, anytime the Iranian Republic shoots at a ship in the Strait, we will bomb and destroy one bridge or one power plant. Secretary of War and Joint Chief of Staff Chairman General Dan Kane supports the administration's request for $87.6 billion. $67 billion is earmarked direct for defense imperatives, which Kane described as urgent operational necessity. Huh. That dude's day sucked. Yeah, what ships? Well, they were boats. They were boats. Hey, Mary, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Max Afterburner has great footage. Does he? Okay, cool. I'll have to check him out. Groundhog Day. I know. Waste of precision guided munitions. I know. They shouldn't be hitting those. So the mission will continue to further degrade them. So basically, it's like same old thing. Same stuff. Groundhog Day. It just keeps happening. Like, I don't even know, honestly, if it's new footage or old footage. Iranian bass boats. Yes, we're totally screwed up the tournament. They were supposed to have a bass tournament. And now they can't because their bass boats are all destroyed. It's the same story here. Forces strike, military infrastructure, 12 consecutive nights. We saw this. So I'm just checking to see if there's anything different here. It says on Thursday, Iran-backed Houthi terrorists claimed missile and drone strikes on 2 Saudi tankers, the Ensala and Lala, as part of a naval blockade on Saudi Arabia. Maritime security source confirmed the attack on a Saudi-flagged Ensala, which transmitted a distress call after being struck by a missile near the Saudi port of Jazan in the Red Sea. British company Vanguard reported the tanker was hit by an unknown projectile on its starboard side, about 70 nautical miles southwest of Al Shakwak. Will it matter? Over the past 3 months, Iran's attacked more than 30 commercial vessels. Strikes came July 17th in the wake of Iranian ballistic missiles and drone attacks on a U.S. base in Jordan. 2 soldiers were killed. Iran attacked a tanker in the Strait off the coast of Oman on Tuesday, forcing the crew to abandon ship. Jordan reported it intercepted 5 drones and 3 missiles. Flights were briefly suspended at Erbil International Airport in Iraq's Kurdish region. Trump indicated we're going to strike Pickaxe Mountain soon. So we'll see what's up with that. And then since we're talking about stuff going on in the Iran war, why they decommissioned the A-10, I haven't a clue. What do they have to fill that role? I don't know. I didn't think they did. I didn't think they I didn't think they did. I thought they stopped that. I thought they stopped it. So House adopts Iran war powers resolution as 4 Republicans join Democrats to rebuke Trump. 4 Democrats again. 4 Republicans, I mean. So the House voted Thursday to curtail Trump's ability to wage war in Iran. And in one of the last roll calls before the lawmakers broke for a 5-week recess. The lower chamber adopted a so-called wars powers revolution, demanding Trump wind down the military campaign by 214 to 208. Brian Fitzpatrick, Tom Barrett, Michigan, Warren Davidson of Ohio, and Thomas Massey joined all 210 Democrats. Yes, rhino's going to rhino. That's right. Israelis and Kurds better be ground forces if they're serious. Yeah, that's what I say. So shortly after the other side of the Capitol Hill, the Senate failed to advance a similar resolution. Senator Cassie, who previously backed a resolution to handcuff Trump, voted no, while Rand Paul and Lisa Murkowski didn't vote. Oh, what do you know? The mixed vote follows the death of 4 American service members. A largely symbolic resolution introduced in the House by Rep. Premal Jayapal, who should be denaturalized and deported, puts Republicans on the spot before they head home to their districts. Oh. The measure called for Trump to remove the use of United States military forces from hostilities against Iran, including potential ground forces in a combat role. Some Republican lawmakers have publicly signaled anxiety to the war could pose a serious liability for the GOP in November 3rd elections. It could. What's up, Spuds? Great to see you. So we got to wrap it up. House Speaker Johnson admitted at a press conference. The Trump administration negotiated a preliminary memorandum of understanding, but the Iranians had no intention on following it, and they started attacking shit again. Yeah, you're going to have to go. He's going to have to go hard and fast. Under the War Powers Act, presidents are restricted from carrying out military actions abroad for more than 60 days without congressional consent. The law makes room for an additional 30-day extension and requires the president to notify Congress about such actions. The War Powers Act constitutionality is untested and disputed by the administration. It's been disputed by every presidential administration. There's not a single president that said it was constitutional. Yep. That's her, Shovelface, yeah. Trump notified Congress on July 10th about renewed military action after the ceasefire collapsed. Well, so, basically, House again rebukes Trump. Like, how is it a rebuke? It's a what do you call a performative? It's a symbolic vote. It's not like a vote that's going to mean anything. I don't get it. They voted to direct Trump to end the war in Iran. And all this does is embolden Iran. Anybody doing this openly right now with what's going on is just making Iran think that they should keep fighting.
All right, we are tracking breaking news from Capitol Hill. The House just voted on the president's war powers. Nicole Killian is standing by. So, Nicole, this is the second time this year that the House has actually voted and passed this. What can you tell us?
Yeah, that's right. And they certainly have taken it up many times before. But as you pointed out, yet another successful vote to pass this Iran War Powers Act with the support of at least 4 Republicans, I would point out. So what this does is send a signal to the Trump administration that Congress does not want to continue military action in Iran, that they want to halt that action. Some of the Democrats who are behind this resolution say, you know, the president has to make a case to Congress to proceed with military action in Iran. And because he has not made that case, he has not sought that congressional authorization, they want to put the brakes on this. And while this may be a symbolic resolution, it still is something that for the second time now could potentially carry some sway with the White House, considering that we also expect a companion vote here in the Senate within the next hour. And so that vote is expected to be extremely close and tight, although I would point out that the Senate has also too once passed one of these war powers resolutions. So this really comes.
That's not exactly true. They passed it, then immediately came back and undid it because they're like, oh no, we don't want to do this. Yeah. The War Powers Act is not an amendment. Totally unconstitutional. Yes. A resolution means nothing. We resolve to move forward to pass the act. Yes. I remember when JFK ran Russia out of Cuba. Yeah, well, it happens. Gundam says, some hogs retired, but plans pushed back to after 30. No true replacement. 35 was claimed to be, but no real CIS close air support training implemented. Yeah, see, I don't know what they close air ground support, like what, you know, close air support, you know, it's they need it. They need it.
At a time of tension between the administration and Congress, we just had Secretary Pete Hegseth here on Capitol Hill, where he was making the case for additional funding for this war effort, at least $67 billion, if not more. And so he was questioned a lot about the need for that. He was questioned a lot about the end game and the strategy for this war, particularly as we have seen tensions escalate over the past week plus. So without getting those kinds of answers, in the view of some lawmakers, from the secretary on what that end game is, on what those next steps are, you are now seeing Congress once again react to this war by again hoping to put the brakes on military action in the region, Kelly.
Yeah, I was seeing 4 Republicans actually voted for this. And I'm sure in the back of everyone's minds, you know, people are going into a midterm election, and with many constituents, it's not popular. It's a very tough line to walk, also with wanting to still curry favor with the president. All right, Nicole Killion, thank you.
All right, yeah, so that's that. But then, as I said, a war powers resolution meant to force an end to the Trump's Iran operation has failed in the Senate, 47-49. The Senate would rather vote on this useless piece of paper over and over again instead of the Save America Act.
On this vote, the ayes are 47, the noes are 49. The motion is not agreed. Under the previous
that's right.
order, the Senate will proceed to executive session to resume consideration of the following nomination, which the clerk will report.
So yeah, so it failed. So that's how it works. But I will admit, you know, the American public as a whole is souring on this. They don't, you know, they don't want this never-ending war again. So these fucktards have no clue how important CIS is to ground troops. Oh yeah, they don't have no idea. The bickering being reported on by the media is also emboldening Iran. They see the media and most of Congress are not in agreement with the president. Yeah, Iran actually thinks like, they're going to do something. Like they don't. What does it mean to put the brakes on runaway? It means to stop it. Yeah. Tell that to the reps that got primaried. Yeah. This will likely go to SCOTUS. Well, it might, but it didn't pass. The Senate voted, didn't get passed in the Senate. So it went to the Senate and they voted it down. So that's it. That's the end. So we have basically this too.
So we're technically in a ceasefire period. We all see, though, that there are breaches to that ceasefire coming from Iran. We went through that with General Keane just a little while ago. So is this war powers vote necessary, given the fact that we're technically in a ceasefire at the moment?
I'm a combat veteran, as you mentioned in your lead-in, Martha. I did 3 combat tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. It actually reminds me of the debates that were happening when I was in Iraq and Afghanistan, as we were getting shot at, as I was doing combat missions, as my soldiers around me were getting blown up by IEDs, and people back in Washington saying, this isn't a war. Don't worry about it. There's no war here. And all of us in Iraq and Afghanistan were like, well, it certainly feels like a war. It's a war to us as our brothers and sisters were falling. So, you know, we have semantic discussions here in the Capitol. The bottom line is we have 50,000+ service members deployed. We're spending tens of billions of dollars. Our service members have been killed. Hundreds have been wounded. And conflict continues to pop up daily in the region.
So all he's telling me is that means Iran's got to get hit harder.
You know, it's a conflict to me, and I'm going to do my job under the Constitution.
Well, good for you. So, House Democrats successfully rebuked President Trump's war on Iran. Oh, well, they always like Democrats hate America, so that's why they support Iran. I'd rather fight the Iran war than the Ukraine one the EU started. Iran is a real nuclear threat. Yes, I agree. Our defenses here and abroad need amplification to defend ourselves with strength. Did I see the Russian jet get shot down? No. Where did it get shot down at? Why do they keep voting for it over and over again? Because they want it. They're doing it as a performative measure so that they can run on it in the midterms and say, see, these Republicans wouldn't vote with us to end the war. It's been a few months, hardly never ending. Yeah. War. Good God. Oh. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. Yeah. War. Y'all. War, conflict, just semantics, yes. Neither was Korea. Let's remember, Vietnam was never a war either, just a conflict, yes. And Korea was just a police action. Hello, everyone. Did I hear right that we're in a ceasefire with Iran? I don't know. Maybe. They did it for sound bites and campaign commercials. Yes, that's why. So Jayapal and Jason Crow forced a vote to halt Trump's military. So that clown forced a vote to halt it. So he wants our troops to get killed and not be able to fight back. And this says 5 Republicans rebel against Trump's Iran war as conflict explodes. List included. So it says Brian Fitzpatrick of Pennsylvania, Warren Davidson of Ohio, Tom Barrett, Tom Massey joined with the Democrats. And that Susan Collins supported a similar resolution in the upper chamber later Thursday. The measure did not pass. So Susan Collins is doing this strictly for her election. That's why they keep doing it, is for the election things, to try and help their people in the elections. That's it. That's the only reason. That's all there is. That's it. So, all right. But I don't know. We'll have to see where it goes. Last declaration of war was World War II. That is correct. Shovel-faced Jayapal. Yeah. Interest rates decisions in a few minutes. Oof. Tom Benedict, Arnold Massey. Well, I don't know. So anyway, so you guys heard too that Jack Smith and one of his lieutenants, or whatever you want to call it, lied to Congress. So Congress is referring them for prosecution, which I'm hoping this happens very soon. Very, very soon.
House Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan joins us, his first interview since issuing the criminal referral against Smith. And sir, thank you for your time. Good morning to you. Go ahead. We laid it out in part. Make your case.
Yeah. You can't make half truths. You got to tell the full truth. In fact, we tell witnesses in the deposition. So Jack Smith testified publicly, but we also deposed him in a private deposition. And we tell the witness at the start of those depositions, you got to tell the whole truth. You can't give partial answers. You can't mislead in any way. And he definitely misled us because he said he didn't get contents when, in fact, they did for 44 members of the United States Congress. And when he got that information from the National Archives, you were supposed to filter it out because we are a separate and equal branch of government. And there's a speech or debate clause in our Constitution. They should have screened out any communications relative to our work as legislators. They did not do it. And the guy on his team who got that information was Thomas Wyndham, a guy we'd also deposed, who we also referred because he tried to obstruct our investigation. So they can say all they want, but this is pretty darn clear in our minds, and that's why we sent the referral.
Mr. Chairman, I want to give you a chance to respond to the ranking member and his assessment of this. Jimmy Raskin saying in part, it was about the questions that you asked. He says the Republicans fault Mr. Smith for not reading the minds of congressional investigators and for not volunteering information they didn't ask for. So he says it's about what was asked, not the answers. Your response to him?
When you ask the special counsel, handpicked by the Garland Biden Justice Department, to go after President Trump, Mr. Jack Smith, Mr. Prosecutor, worked at the Hague, all this, when you ask him, did you get contents of members of Congress's communications, and he says no, that is not telling the truth, because in fact he did. Now he can say, oh, I was only referring to the toll records, which by the way is bad enough. I mean, remember what he did with the toll record, Shannon. 16 days after Speaker McCarthy becomes...
hold on one second. I want to address something in the chat. America First says, I do not think our founding fathers envisioned that the president of the United States would solely be the one to decide to bring this country to war. I will counter that with Thomas Jefferson, the Barbary Pirates. Do you remember what happened there? We commissioned the Navy. They sent the Marines. The president did. There was no declaration by Congress, nothing. He sent them there. They got attacked, and they defended themselves. Kind of the same thing. Maybe. A little bit. You know. But that was the commission of those warships, all that stuff happened under Washington. John Adams was too much of a puss to do anything about it. And so then Jefferson had it. As soon as Jefferson got in, it was on. You know, from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles on the land and on the sea. Yeah, that's where that whole thing comes from. Yep. Leathernecks. There you go. Yep. George Washington. Yep. Need an AI clip of Brando yelling Bella instead of Stella. That would be good. So I will say those were the founding fathers that did that. So I think they kind of, Washington, Jefferson, So that's all.
Speaker, he goes and gets the toll records, tells the carrier, and it goes to the judge and says, tell the carrier, don't let the customer, the Speaker of the House, know we have it. The guy who's second in line to the president, the top Republican in government. And then he goes and gets mine for 2.5 years, the guy who gets the privilege of chairing the Judiciary Committee. Don't tell him we got that information. And oh, by the way, when we ask him about that and ask him if he got any contents, he doesn't tell us that he also had the contents of text messages from Speaker McCarthy, from me, and from others. You got to be kidding me. And now he's saying, oh, I didn't lie. Come on. It's sure.
I need more. Your neighbor smells really bad. Do you live with it? You tell him to fix it. I wouldn't live with any smelly neighbors. That's why I don't live in Minnesota. I can't handle the smellies. Is he Indian? Curry? Washington did not believe in political parties, either body odor or computer programmer. Yeah, which one? You gotta give us more information.
It looks like he did, and that's why we sent the referral.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption there. Chuck Grassley put out a bunch of documents. He's suggesting that 44 members of Congress from both parties had their text messages read. That would include the late Lindsey Graham, Susan Collins out of Maine, Steve Scalise, Cory Booker. In addition, you had private citizens now, Mike Pence, not Stephen Miller and Kash Patel, but Ivanka Trump.
Right.
And when you think about that, I mean, you used the word lying. I would ask you, are your allegations also about him spying?
Well, one thing we do learn, I say this on every one of these investigations I've been involved with, it's always worse than we thought. It's the one thing we get wrong. It's always worse than we thought when we start these things. And the amount of information, the number of people he went after, I mean, we know we had people from Fox News, he got their communications as well. This blanket that they threw out there and tried to scoop up every Republican in this town to go after President Trump is pretty broad. And again, we think it's pretty darn clear from his deposition, from his public testimony, that he misled Congress. And 18 U.S.C. 1001 says you cannot do that. That's why we referred him.
Mr. Chairman, can I quickly ask you too about this stock trading ban? Nearly every Democrat voted against it. They say it's because it's got things tied to it that they would never have voted for otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, whatever the reason is, we should. I supported the stock trading ban, but I also support the idea that you should have to prove you're a citizen and show ID if you're going to vote, for goodness sake, particularly in light of what we're now learning. I mean, President gave his remarks, his speech last week. Then we learned in New Jersey, almost 7,000 people, non-citizens, were on the voter rolls. And yet these blue states don't want to share that information, their voter roll information in so many blue states with the federal government, so we can match up who's here on a visa and not a citizen with the voter rolls and actually determine who's allowed to vote and who isn't. I mean, the fact that that's the reason they won't vote for the stock ban, I mean, I don't understand it. I think it just defies common sense. And I think that's how the voters of this great country will interpret it as well.
Are we finding that the Save America Act is almost a catch-all for a lot of priorities on behalf of most Republicans and the president?
Well, yeah. What don't you realize that that's why the Democrats don't want it, because it's going to stop the fraud, and without the fraud, they don't get elected. So Samuel Loki says that the leathernecks, they wore leather collars to protect themselves from the pirates who follow the commandments of the Quran to strike at the necks of the unbelievers. Yes, that is true. That is true. That is true. We've been going for an hour now. I want to thank everybody who's here. Remind you to hit the like button. Remind you, if you aren't a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. Please leave a comment after the show's over. That really helps with, with reach, believe it or not, for some reason. And we are currently just $30 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. And I always like to think when it's this time of the evening, and I'm reminded that if you're hungry and you need a snack, something to pick you up, a little pick me up, you might want a little protein, as they say. You can head on over to www.biltongusa.com to get yourself some premium, all American made Wagyu or Angus biltong. Yes, use promo code Jim and save 10%. They have 8-ounce bags that make excellent gifts for your relatives, family, friends, neighbors, boyfriends, girlfriends, you name it. It's especially good for anybody on dialysis who needs a lot of extra protein. This really works to help them out. It's helpful. Instead of all the protein drinks, eat some biltong and get some good protein. If you like it spicy, get yourself some peri-peri flavor, or for some real heat, check out the Ghost Pepper or the Carolina Reaper. That'll get you. Check out the Drowers or the Cabanassi sausages. They come in beef and pork. And they have a bunch of other snacks, cakes, candies, and cookies that you can get from all around the world. So head on over to www.biltongusa.com and use promo code Jim to save 10%. Tell them Jim sent you. Rally time for $2. Thank you so much. With that, we're now 28 away, folks. Just 28 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Really, really liking this. Liking the show. Because I like this show. It's a really good show. Mm-hmm. Indubitably. This is a good stuff going on here today, man. We got lots of stuff to talk about. Good news, good news.
Well, I think I would say, Bill, it's just common sense. I mean, in Ohio, we have to show photo ID when we vote. I think that should be the norm in every state. That should be the law in every state. And why Democrats oppose that, I do not know, particularly in light of what Democrat Governor Mikey Sherrill just shared with us 2 days ago, that in her state, 6,600 people were on the voter registration rolls who were not citizens of this great country.
Okay.
Chairman Jim Jordan.
That's right. They shouldn't be allowed to vote. We shouldn't be allowing them. Congress Jordan has heavily implicated by, whatever. I'm not going to read that. That's a bunch of baloney. Jim Jordan refers Jack Smith for DOJ prosecution. We can only hope this comes really fast. The Stock Act was passed in 2012. Yeah, but this is the Stock Act in 2012 just says they have to notify them of the trades. It doesn't stop them from trading. This one, I believe, is supposed to keep them from trading at all. Like say that if you're in Congress, you can't trade stocks. Yes, all politicians are corrupt. They just got to be crook. You just got to go with the crook you trust the most. Yes. I think our founding fathers were men of substance and integrity. This political theater did not exist. Yeah, you're right. And if they had a real issue with somebody, they would take it up with them, like, physically, if you catch my drift. That's how they would do. So, House Judiciary Chairman on Wednesday criminally referred Jack Smith to the Justice Department for prosecution. He sent a letter to Todd Blanche, acting Attorney General, about Jack Smith's testimony. And I believe there was also another person that was referred, some other guy who was in charge of this other stuff. His testimony included intentional false statements designed to obstruct Congress's oversight. His conduct can only be understood as an effort to thwart the committee's inquiry by intentionally making false statements and representations before Congress. Obama wanted to ban elected officials from even owning stocks they had influence over. Well, why didn't it get passed then? Obama could have got anything he wanted passed. He had 60 votes in the Senate and a huge majority in the House. My point is showing the hypocrisy. Yeah. So there's this standard penalty for failing to disclose a stock trade on time. It's just $200. It's a joke. Yeah, it's just it's a monetary penalty only. Jack Smith could face potential criminal prosecution. Good, he should. Senate Chairman Chuck Grassley revealed Jack Smith spied on 44 members of Congress. Jack Smith lied under oath when he was asked about records he requested included the contents of the calls or texts. The founding fathers literally put life on the line for their beliefs. Yeah, that's right. They did. So here's Jack Smith lying under oath.
The odds can change in a heartbeat.
Wow.
Every touch.
If you live anywhere near the following areas, then you might want to see this. If you haven't.
Did the toll records that you requested from the senators, did they include the content of the phone calls?
No.
Did the records that you requested, the toll records from the members of Congress, include the content of text messages?
No.
Can you explain for us on the record?
Oh, so what they're trying to say is, he said toll records. He said toll records, so you can't really do anything to him for that, So Todd Blanche was asked. He said, "Have you thought about investigating Jack Smith?" We take testimony in front of his body very seriously. And then Howley says, "Good. I think he should absolutely be investigated. I hope that you prosecute him."
How old were you when you found out that this blue liquid makes fat come out in your pee within 24 hours? And better yet, the government is sending...
What is the blue liquid? Trying to speak of blue liquid?
I want to start with Jack Smith and the latest revelations of his illegalities, which seem to have no end. I mean, listen, I've had my text messages, did have my text messages by him scooped up, read. Who knows what he did with them? I've had my cell phone monitored. He tracked my incoming calls, my outgoing calls. He tracked my metadata. He tracked my location. I mean, Lord knows what else. The part that really offends me, though, is that he didn't just do it to me and members of Congress. He did it to ordinary Americans. I've had Missourians come to me and say, I had FBI agents show up at my door, knock on my door and say, "Were you in Washington, D.C. in January of 2021? These are people who did nothing wrong. They weren't even here. They come to me and they said, what is going on? What am I going to do? I can't afford an attorney. What really gets me at the end of the day is he lies about it. I mean, he has lied and lied about it. And I want to just make good that claim. Here is a record. I'm going to read it to you. A record of Jack Smith's responses under oath now to members of Congress. He is asked, question, as it relates to members and their staffs and senators, it's just the toll records as far as you remember. Smith, that is my recollection. Question, did the records that you requested include the content of text messages? Smith, answer, no. Now, maybe there's some nuance I'm missing here, but it sounds a lot to me like this guy didn't tell the truth. Have you thought about investigating this guy for perjury?
We take testimony in front of this body very seriously. Yes.
Good. Well, I think he absolutely should be investigated. I think he absolutely should be prosecuted if at all possible. And based on his responses under oath, I think he should be. And I think it's time that we say that these people who did this, who engaged in this mass illegality, blatant violation of the separation of powers, blatant violation of the Constitution. We know what they did to President Trump. We know what they did to everyday innocent Americans. And that's before we even touch the issue of trying to recruit spies into Catholic parishes, sending members of the anti-terrorism division to go hound parents who went to school board meetings. It's unlike anything we've ever seen in American history. And my view is there needs to be accountability for it. I hope that you will investigate Jack Smith for perjury, and I hope that possibly you'll prosecute him.
Yes, Senator.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, I hope they prosecute him. Unfortunately, like Spud says, nothing bad will happen to him. There's never any accountability. But we have to hope there will be. We can't keep living this way where no accountability happens. There has to be accountability at some point in time. What the F says, my mom used to say the truth will always come out. Maybe not today, but it will come out. Well, my mom always used to say what don't come out in the wash comes out in the rinse. Jason says, will the B-1 bombers come out to play? Supposedly they've already been out to play. I want to know when the Buffs are going to come out to play. The B-U-F-Fs are going to come out to play. When those guys come out to play, you know they're serious. Like you wouldn't remember reading their text messages. Obvious lying. Yes. Did the Jack Smith guy AP in Congress? Appear in Congress? Is that what you're saying? Maybe. Yeah, he was in Congress. So I also heard they're going to bring Fauci back next week to testify again. We'll have to see if Fauci continues his lie or if he corrects it, because hopefully Fauci will lie again and say, no, we didn't do gain of function, or no, we didn't do this, no, we didn't do that. If he lies again, he's not his pardon does not. It's not for future crimes. Like, he can't lie to Congress again and get away with it. So he's either going to have to start telling the truth in Congress, or he will be prosecuted, which is a good thing. Will it be a stormy night for the mullahs? I hope so. It'll be a rainy night in Lyndhurst, as they say. So I wanted to bring this up. A lot of people followed the Karen Reed stuff. A lot of people followed Turtle Boy. We were talking about the First Amendment stuff earlier. About speech and stuff. This is very, very on point. Trump knows that if the demon rats get back in, they will destroy Trump. Trump is going to destroy them. Justice is coming. I hope so. I hope so. He's going to plead the fifth. Oh, that would be funny. There's no reason to plead the fifth. There's no reason to plead the fifth. I don't think he can. He can't plead the fifth. He can't. He can't take the fifth. He has a pardon. He has no reason to take the fifth. The only unless he's going to lie. That's the only way. He can't be prosecuted for any of the questions that he asked. He got a pardon. He can't claim the fifth. He can't. He has no. The fifth is for self-incrimination. The answers, as long as he answers truthfully, he can't be prosecuted because he has a pardon. Fauci will clam up and take the fifth. I don't think he can. It's all about 10 strikes so far tonight. Oh, good. Get it done. Yeah, I don't think he can legally. He has no legal liability unless he's going to lie. And that would be committing a new crime by lying. So Fauci's pardon means he can't take the fifth. He'll say he can't recall instead. Yeah. Yeah, he can't fifth his way out of it. Yeah. Fauci's lawyer will argue he can avoid state level charges. I don't know. Honestly, I don't. They can make that argument, but I don't know. So yesterday we were notified that an Atlantic County, New Jersey indictment of Aiden Kearney, that's Dr. Turtleboy, although this indictment remained sealed, within hours its existence was improperly leaked to third parties. The prosecution stems from the civilian complaint of a New Jersey resident who intentionally contacted Mr. Kearney, hoping that he would publicize her long-term humiliation of a Massachusetts citizen who was the brother of John O'Keefe, the victim in the high-profile Massachusetts prosecution of Karen Reed. The complainant contacted Kearney to generate online attention, hoping this would grant her access to the people close to the Reed case. Mr. Kearney has never met this woman and has never stepped foot in New Jersey in years. The Atlantic County prosecutor's decision to present this matter to a grand jury is both disappointing and virtually unprecedented. It is clear that the prosecutor has serious doubts about the merits of this case and the credibility of the evidence. The indictment follows the complainant's voluntary withdrawal of a civil proceeding she brought against Mr. Kearney. She chose to terminate that proceeding rather than be subjected to cross-examination. After respected Superior Court judge entered critical rulings in favor of Mr. Kearney's right to free speech. After the civil matter concluded in Mr. Kearney's favor, the prosecutor sat on this civilian complaint for 7 months. On July 7th, 2026, the assigned prosecutor advised us that she had determined this matter would not be presented to a grand jury, and the decision was forthcoming about whether the civilian complaint would be dismissed or remanded to the municipal court. Within minutes of this update, the assigned prosecutor reversed course, now informing us that she had been directed to immediately present the matter to the grand jury. She then declined our request to meet with the Atlantic County Prosecutor, William Reynolds. She further declined a request that Mr. Kearney be afforded the opportunity to testify as a witness before the grand jury. No citizen should be indicted for speaking freely and expressing his or her opinion about matters of public concern. A grand jury is entirely controlled by the prosecutor. It's a one-sided presentation with a low burden of proof. We are confident that when all the facts and circumstances surrounding Mr. Kearney's indictment are revealed, it will be apparent to any reasonable person that his speech, which serves as the basis for his indictment, is protected by the First Amendment and New Jersey law, that he's not violated New Jersey's cyber harassment statute. Attorneys for Aidan Kearney. So they're trying to say he cyber harassed some woman who contacted him. Seems quite ridiculous to me. Seems quite ridiculous to me. Fauci probably won't even show up. No, he's been subpoenaed. He has to show up. Kate Peter. Is that who it is? Kate Peter? Okay. Wait and see. The SCOTUS will have to decide whether auto-pen pardons are legitimate. Well, Fauci will never face justice either. Well, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. I don't know. I'm shocked that no state attorney general has gone after him. Like, hello, Florida. Hello, Texas. What are you doing? Hey, just Rhonda. Good to see you. I usually just listen while I do stuff. Well, I'm glad you're here listening. You know, make sure you hit the like button. You know, let's see. There's 170 people watching, and we have 82 likes. So that's like less than half the people have hit like. So please hit the like button. It really helps. It does help to like and subscribe. It really does. Really does. So, yeah, I don't know. You can say what you want about Turtle Boy, Dr. Turtle Boy, whatever, you know, Aidan Kearney. I don't think that he's broken any laws. You know, he's just been reporting on facts. And if it wasn't for Turtle Boy, who knows what would have happened with the Karen Reed's thing if they would have been able to just railroad her. You know, who knows? Aidan's trial is in December. The entire situation is a massive shit show. Disgusting. Very disappointed. Is Kearney Turtle Boy? Yes. Aidan Kearney is Turtle Boy. Fauci will be eaten by 100 rabid, angry, hungry beagles. You know, we can hope. Free speech. Yeah. They're trying to really get rid of it. Hey, what's up? Thanks for being here, Paul. Really loving your stuff. I like to watch it when I'm just relaxing, watching the birds eating stuff. Paul's got a good YouTube channel that just basically shows the weather and bird feeders and stuff. It's really good. Check it out. When will we secure the strait? Are we going to grab this island above the strait? I hope so. I hope we secure it. Like I here's the thing. The Strait of Hormuz is getting traffic through it. It's open. The reason gas prices and oil prices have spiked is because of the stuff going on by the Houthis. And they started actually attacking ships that were filling, that were actually, Saudi Arabia filling tankers in the Red Sea, basically. They started attacking those ships. So that's the problem right now. So they're gonna have to hammer the Houthis, and they're gonna have to make them blow fish. So I think that's what needs to happen before prices can get realigned. Is they're gonna need to do a little something with the Houthis. So an Army lieutenant in full uniform tells America F Donald Trump on his last day. Like, that? The Saudi is a sideshow? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. That oil coming out is a problem. If they can't get it out that way, that's an issue. Won't be the first time the Houthis have been hammered. No, and it's probably won't be the last either. Probably will not be the last. Probably needs to happen. The Brent crude market, yeah. To the stockade, definitely. So this guy. Oh, well, nice mustache. An Army first lieutenant decided to go out with a bang and spit in the face of the commander-in-chief and every American who's ever thanked a service member for their sacrifice. The man in the viral video is Patrick Kaiser, who identifies as gay and says he served in the Army for 14 years. Saudi has air power. They can pound them. It's right next door. Yeah. I think it's more greed than anything, as I think we have all the oil we need. We do, but oil is a global market. And so basically all the oil, unless we were to just say we're not going to sell our oil on the global market, we're just going to sell it in the U.S., like that would be like, that would cause shockwaves. I mean, I think basically we have to, that was part of the deal to have all oil traded with on U.S. dollars, is that it's going to be an open market. Everybody has to put it on this open market. So I don't think you can get around that. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. So he goes, so today's my last day wearing this uniform. I just wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, F Donald Trump. I don't think I need to hear it. In the past 14 years, I said, thank you for your service, man. I've heard thank you many times. The best way to show thanks is to vote for politicians who will only put them in harm's way when absolutely necessary. So he doesn't think it's necessary to keep Iran from getting still in uniform, dishonorable discharge, no benefits. Yeah, I mean, did he start as a private 14 years and just a lieutenant? The video quickly ignited a wave of criticism online. Lieutenant is still subject to the UCMJ, even if it's his last day. He's a disgrace to the uniform, dishonorable discharge, and send him to Leavenworth. Others question whether Kaiser remained subject to the UCMJ at the time of the video was recorded, while some defended his right to express political views after completing his military service. Can't do it in uniform. Service member remains fully subject to the UCMJ until their official military discharge process is complete and their final separation takes effect, typically midnight on their official separation date. So if Kaiser was still on active duty when he made the video, the Army could theoretically have jurisdiction to investigate whether the conduct violated UCMJ. Yes, take his pension. He's only been in 14 years. He's not getting a pension. Whether any action will be taken will depend on the timing, the precise facts, and the judgment of the military chain of command. If his discharge has already become effective, the UCMJ generally would no longer apply. Generally speaking, an officer could be recalled to active duty and prosecuted as an officer. Yeah. So Department of War has not responded. So I hope they recall him and prosecute him. That's what I hope. So, yeah. In this next story, the German government hates the AfD because they actually care about the German people, German history, German culture, and protecting Germany, the Germanic way of life. And so they are trying to claim that they're Nazis, but in order to stop the people they claim are Nazis, the German government is turning into the Nazis again. May have gone enlisted to NCO, then dropped an OCS packet. Yes, he can also be recalled since he was still on the clock. Yeah. Mark Kelly. Yeah, keel haul him, definitely. So Gestapo tactics. German state starts banning AfD candidates from running for office because they might win. While the aging director of Nicaragua, Daniel Ortega, this week announced that he was suspending elections indefinitely, Europe seems to be on a similar path. Viktor Orban's party was raided Wednesday and had their servers confiscated. Romanian president elections were annulled in 2024. Now Germany seems to have discovered a new strategy, as legacy parties are simply excluding candidates from the patriotic AfD party from elections. Local elections are set to take place in the state of Lower Saxony, home of the Volkswagen, and surrounding the free city of Hamburg, where the Alternative for German party is currently polling at about 20% behind Christian Democrats and Social Democrats at about 25% each. Nationally, the AfD is currently the strongest party in the polls at about 29% and may even win a majority in the East German states of Saxony, Anhalt, and Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, which elect new state parliaments and state governments in September. So the failing legacy parties are resorting to even more repressive measures. Along with the ever-present threat of Antifa violence, debanking, and media slander, efforts have been underway. What's that? Scheibkopfchen? Yes. The rules are the rules. Yes. Have been underway to ban the largest opposition party outright. Since the German secret police have not been able to prove AfD is a danger to democracy in court, these efforts run by the Social Democrats seem doomed to fail. Therefore, ahead of September 13 local elections, the ruling Red-Green coalition changed the election rules, allowing local election boards to ban individual candidates if they have doubts in their loyalty to the Constitution. However, that may be defined. And in Lower Saxony, secret police, Office of Protection of the Constitution, announced it was classifying the local AfD as confirmed far right. Like, why are we even defending these fucking people anymore? Why are we in Germany? Get the fuck out of Germany. This is ridiculous. You know, the Democrat Socialists and National Socialists look very similar. Yeah, they do. So a temporary injunction against the decision was filed by AfD was struck down in June. Now, as the election approaches, local election boards have started examining and banning AfD candidates from running. At least 11 AfD candidates are currently being investigated for lacking loyalty to the Constitution, without any legal recourse or opportunity to defend themselves. The only reason for banning them offered is that they're AfD members, so they must be far right and therefore a danger to democracy. Hey, King of Biltong, what's up? Oh, I did your ad at the start of the hour, right at 8 o'clock. I ran your ad. So thanks for being here, King of Biltong. It's always nice to have you. And if anybody needs any protein, head on over to www.biltongusa.com and use promo code Jim and get yourself some bags of Biltong from Anton and his beautiful wife and kids. Because it's all American made. They're living the American dream in Texas, providing real beef for real people. People forget that 7 AfD out of 16 mysteriously died. Yeah, they're killing them and they're banning them from the ballots. So it's kind of like what they did to Trump. They tried to kill him, ban him from the ballots. So AfD Bundestag member was banned from running for the county board by the very party he is running against.
Today, I want to show you what happened yesterday in the election committee when I was barred from standing for election as district administrator. The main reason given was that I am a member of the AfD. He questioned me about that. See for yourselves.
Are you in the state branch? You must be.
I'm a member of the AfD, and I also hold an official position in Alternative for Germany. I chair the AfD in Friesland-Wittmund, and I'm an AfD member of the Bundestag, and I stand by that because I genuinely consider it Germany's freest and most democratic party.
So you're automatically in the state branch?
Naturally. The second reason they allegedly barred me from the election was social media posts of mine containing the following.
The documents already discuss mass migration and the AfD in general. They also refer to 350 young people rioting, throwing firecrackers, and so on. I won't go through it all.
So as an AfD MP, I may not speak about the AfD or mass migration or about juvenile offenders. Presumably, I may only post pictures of kittens and flowers because otherwise I cannot stand for election as district administrator. That line of reasoning is completely absurd, at least in my view. And our AfD representative on the committee had some very clear words about that.
To substantiate doubts about loyalty to the Constitution, there must be circumstances of sufficient weight. The assessment first cites the following circumstances: membership in the AfD, serving as chair of the AfD district branch of Friesland-Wittmund, holding a Bundestag seat, and serving as health policy spokesperson for the AfD parliamentary group. That cannot be serious. The AfD is a democratically elected party and is not banned. Regarding the statements listed as part of a supposed individual assessment, just this. The statements, clearly taken out of context, are of course protected by freedom of expression under Article 5 of Germany's Basic Law and are nothing more than a Bundestag member's political work. Clearly, every statement is being forced into an anti-constitutional context. Clear words, in a normal democracy, none of this would provide any grounds for excluding anyone from an election.
Then there was another interesting exchange between the election officer and me about loyalty to the Constitution.
A district administrator is also elected under civil service law, and that is, of course, state law, and that is why there are, of course, ways to restrict it. Every civil servant must be loyal to the Constitution, otherwise they cannot be appointed.
Exactly. The same goes for me. I've worked in public service for 15 years. If I left the Bundestag today, I'd be back there tomorrow. I must be constitutionally loyal there too. What do you think of the approach taken by the election committee in the Free State District?
Why can't these people, the people that are trying to ban these people, should be able to be banned for being against the Constitution, shouldn't they? Hey, oh, thank you, King of Biltong, Anton. Gundam Zig was gifted a membership on Rumble, and he now has the Rumble clap for 30 days. And with that generous donation of one Jim Tells You membership on Rumble, welcome to the Jimsomniacs, Gundam Zig. That means we are now just $23 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Yes. And then he says, hey, King, saw the first Biltong in a while, a different brand, $4 an ounce. I too poor. Yes, he got the Rumble clap. What's up, Arizona Merce? Great to see you. Thanks to the King, death to the mosquito who got in my apartment. There you go. You will agree with us or you'll not run for office. Sounds like the Nazis. It does, doesn't it? Sounds like the Nazis. Sounds an awful like the Nazis. So that's what they're doing. America spends trillions on NATO to protect democracies, including Germany, but it has just prevented an opposition candidate from running for mayor for frivolous reasons, including his praise for the Lord of the Rings. This is a clear violation of the NATO charter. Like, I don't get it. Security agency uses Lord of the Rings commentary to block mayoral candidate. Like, this is crazy. Imagine a man running for mayor and local authorities disqualify him because he praised the Lord of the Rings television miniseries, made the OK sign with his fingers, and went to a book fair. That's what's happening. He was a front runner in a mayoral race in the German city of Ludwigshafen when the local election council, who's supposed to be politically neutral, declared that he could not run. The council relied on analysis by the Ministry of Interior. As evidence that he was a threat to the Constitution, they quoted from Paul's praise of the Amazon series, The Lord of the Rings. The protagonists fight for a cause that is greater than themselves. The homeland, the continuation of their culture, a just order, the defense against world danger. They say that by writing positive about Lord of the Rings, I want to support nationalism. Why is it a problem to be a German nationalist? I don't understand. That was to draw a picture of me as somebody who's far right. U.S. President J.D. Vance, Giorgia Meloni, the president of Italy, couldn't run for office in Ludwigshafen. He's a candidate for the right-wing populist nationalist party, Alternative for Germany. You need not agree with their politics, but the reasons given by the Interior Ministry, which is supposed to focus on violent extremists, are frivolous. This is ridiculous. On the 18th and 19th, he was invited for a book bazaar in the Quartier or whatever, among other things, various right-wing literature. So right-wing literature, oh, this is so fucking ridiculous. Like, why? We have to stop. We have to stop. We have to just get out of NATO. Get out of NATO now. In the context of widespread censorship by the German government, the hidden strategy is happening. His lawyer is confident the election court's in violation of the Constitution. So all them should not be allowed to be in office if they're in violation of the Constitution. That's how it works, right? Yeah, Lord of the Rings is a Christian-based movie. You can't have that. Yeah, he should be disqualified on mental capacity, rings of power, blue chunks, and sucked ass. Yeah, I was going to say that. Well, nationalism was part of the Nazi party. Oh, okay. So nationalism is bad. So that's why you can't have a country anymore, I guess. Are you going to talk about the Dems changing the language on the Voting Rights Act? I don't know anything about that. I haven't heard anything about that. So this is just crazy. What's happening here.
Who you are. It sounds like you were a teacher before you decided to go into politics.
I taught German history and politics.
Anyway, listen, I'm not. Germany is lost, I guess. Maybe NATO's got to go. Hogwarts for Christian. No. J.R.R. Tolkien. Oh, he's highly Catholic. Elves were Christians. They're all Christians. No, the Lord of the Rings, it was Christian. It was all theology. Has very Christian leaning things. AOC gets torched after getting caught spreading this huge lie about the U.S. House's $1 trillion defense bill. Yeah, she's an idiot. AOC is getting dragged after spreading an easily provable falsehood about the recently passed defense bill. On Wednesday, the House passed its version of the NDAA. The bill allocates $1.1 trillion to the U.S. military. Legislation also left Section 219 intact, a provision that calls for closer U.S. and Israeli defense integration on a variety of critical issues. Stop the insanity. The dream police are coming for me. The day before the vote, AOC asserted that Section 219 would combine the U.S. and Israeli military, creating an existential threat to American sovereignty. She's crazy. But unsurprisingly, AOC is spreading a massive lie to pander to her Jew-hating supporters. The bill directs the Pentagon to cooperate with Israel on a variety of defense issues, but it does not merge the two militaries or place the U.S. under Israeli command. Per Grok, no, AOC is not accurately describing it. You've never read Christianity into the trilogy? And I've read it more than once. I don't know. That's according to Tolkien himself. He said it has it's very it's not, like the one God, if you Aule, I think is his name, right? Aule. There's one God that holds the flame imperishable, all that. So it creates a U.S. defense technology cooperation initiative, the Pentagon to designate an executive agent to speed up joint R&D, identify Israeli origin tech for integration into the U.S. systems. It does not merge military commands. It does not put U.S. forces under IDF control or transfer decision-making authority to Israel. No joint operational structure or troop integration. Americans, led by EPA chief, quickly pounced on AOC's lie. Republicans pounce. AOC is, instead of merging the part of your brain that hates Jews and the part of your brain concocting your daily lies, you should try merging the part of your brain responsible for reading bill text and the part of your brain responsible for critical thinking. There's no merging. You can't read a bill when that's literally fundamentally part of your job. Reminder, you already admitted you hate Israel, but don't know why.
But I am, of course, the dynamic there in terms of geopolitics and the war in the Middle East is very different than people expressing their First Amendment right to protest.
Well, yes, but I also think that what people are starting to see, at least in the occupation of Palestine, is just an increasing crisis of humanitarian condition. And that to me is just where I tend to come from on this issue.
You use the term the occupation of Palestine. What did you mean by that?
I think what I meant is like the settlements that are increasing in some of these areas and places where Palestinians are experiencing difficulty in access to their housing and homes.
Do you think you can expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd also just, I am not the expert on geopolitics on this issue.
No, she meant, and she realized she fucked up. She meant that she doesn't think Israel should exist, that they should just all, surrender to Allah. So, yeah. They have plans to share military information, etc. However, many opponents are saying it's merging the two countries' militaries. What does it do? It doesn't. It doesn't do anything. Here she is, fake lying. Remember this when she went and stood outside a fence, outside an empty parking lot, fake crying. Bartender, a margarita, please. Yeah. She's so stupid. So stupid. So stupid. Eru Iluvatar. Yeah, in Elvish. Or Iluvatar. Yeah, Eru Iluvatar. Yeah, the one, so one god. She's a USAID child intern. Yeah. Does AOC ever really say anything? Not really. Not really. Portland left is convicted of assault on federal officer at ICE facility after DOJ retries case following mistrial. Well, good. AOC, I don't know. It was just something I heard. Yeah. Portland leftist has been convicted of assaulting a federal officer during an Antifa direct action outside of the ICE facility in Southwest Portland. Oriana Coral, 39, pleaded guilty on Thursday to misdemeanor assault on a federal agent. So this comes after the Justice Department retried the case against Coral following the jury's failure to reach a verdict in May, which led Judge Karen Immergut to declare a mistrial. Of course, Karen Immergut. Remember her? When, she was a Trump appointee, and she looks like she's a straight-up lesbian wearing a bunch of beads and shit. Yeah. AOC shows how stupid voters can be. You ain't kidding. So Carol, a clarinetist for the Antifa-affiliated Unprecedented Brass Band, admitted to kicking and biting FPS officer while being detained for interfering with a separate arrest during a large-scale anti-ICE demonstration. She pleaded guilty before U.S. Magistrate Judge Yuli Yim-Yu. What the hell? Yuli Yim-Yu? What is going on? AOC is a puddle in the parking lot of idiots. The incident occurred October 12, 2025, at the height of the left-wing civil unrest outside the Portland ICE facility. Federal officers tackle agitators into the mud as suspects resist arrest. Several arrests made. Yeah, they're all getting on TikTok for their videos for TikTok. It's crazy. Yeah, shame. So these people are all idiots. So according to court documents, Carl was captured on video pulling a male protester away from federal officers for attempting to arrest him. An officer pushed Carl out of the way, knocking her to the ground. While on the ground, she kicked an officer in the right leg. She was placed under arrest but resisted. During the struggle, she pretended to bite the officer's left arm with her teeth. There she is kicking. There she is biting. Wow. It took several agents to get her, take her into custody. Like, I don't know. If somebody bites you and you're trying to take them in custody, I think you should be able to knock their teeth out. Right? That's what I think. Got to take the weapon away from them. If they're going to use their teeth as a weapon, they should lose their teeth. Carol, a clinical family therapist. Wow, she should have her license revoked. She clearly is not of sane mind to be giving anybody advice. If this was in Iran, there would be real ammo. Yeah, totally. She took her band to participate in the Emergency World Naked Bike Ride. Fucking people. Assistant U.S. Attorney Catherine Reichen described Carol's actions as violent and causing the officer reasonable apprehension of bodily harm. Protests are getting more and more boring, and the whistles, I have better things to do than watch the drivel. Yeah, I'm under the plea deal, Carol is expected to avoid jail time. Oh, of course. Why not? Yeah, nobody ever goes to jail. Nobody on the left ever goes to jail, it seems like. Nobody on the left ever goes to jail. She must stay away from the Portland ICE facility located in the waterfront neighborhood. U.S. Attorney's Office has federally charged more than 40 anti-ICE demonstrators for a variety of offenses, including arson, assault on federal officers, depredation of government property. Many of them convicted, with some of them receiving years-long jail stints. Why not her? She bit a federal officer. I would have sentenced her to having her teeth removed rapidly. Rapide. Secret Service agent benched after leaking sensitive info about Vice President J.D. Vance and his family to the far left MS Now. Can you believe this? A Secret Service agent was sharing information. Is this how they got the information about the plane? Huh? Is this how they got the plane information? Or is it some other person? J.D. Vance has become a victim of sabotage by one of the very people sworn to protect him and his family from harm. CNN reported Secret Service agent serving on Vance's details been placed on administrative leave after being caught allegedly spilling very sensitive information about him to a notorious left-wing outlet. Source told CNN officials identified the person believed to have been ratting out Vance. The Secret Service agent has not been named at this point. CNN notes that the suspension centers around a story published last week by MS Now. The MS Now story painstakingly described Vance and his family's planned travel. This included the VP flying with his son on Marine Corps helicopter for a golf lesson, which was later canceled due to severe weather. Yes. Prosecuted. He should be prosecuted. That information is secret government information, to travel plans, and he should be prosecuted. The story also spoke about how the agents were protecting Vance and his family were angry with the vice president supporters' last-minute travel requests. The article also revealed Vance's code name, Bobcat. The article mentioned people with knowledge of Vance's flight plans, administration officials with knowledge of his schedule, and additional source with knowledge of their travel who spoke on a condition of anonymity for fear of reprisals. The Daily Mail notes that the White House became furious that such operational details were leaked to the press and disqualified from any future federal employment. Well, I would think it'd disqualify him from like a lot of stuff. Trump launched his own sinking ship with this Iran shit. Well, we'll see. Back in January, the Gateway Pundit reported that O'Keefe Media released a Secret Service agent assigned to Vance leaking sensitive information to an undercover reporter. The agent at the center of the O'Keefe scheme, Tomas Escanto, is a Joe Biden holdover and has only been a U.S. citizen since 2018. Why the fuck would we have somebody that's been a U.S. citizen for less than 10 years guarding presidents and vice presidents? Escanto told O'Keefe, undercover reporter, details about how Vance is surrounded and revealed advanced security procedures. The Secret Service agent also revealed Vance's future travel plans and sent images from Air Force Two while he was traveling with Vance. He should be denaturalized and deported. J.D. Vance's Secret Service agent leaks to an undercover agent. A holdover from the Biden administration stated he voted for Biden while expressing opposition to ICE and Trump.
Can I see your badge again with your photo? You're so cute.
A current Secret Service agent on Vice President J.D. Vance's security detail.
When he's like walking, like, where are you?
Follow him. We'll have at least a minimum head and
gives away vital high-level security information to our undercover journalists.
We have different shifts.
Right. At the center of every political debate in 2026 is one unspoken cause: foreigners in America. Yeah, this guy should be denaturalized and deported back to wherever the fuck he came from. I don't care where he came from. Send him back. We don't need this shit here. He looks soft as well. Yeah. AZ Murr says the Iran shit was long overdue. This should have been taken care of when Jimmy Carter was in office. Yes. Yes.
Tells her about detailed future travel plans for the vice president, and even sends her pictures with location metadata revealing where the president's convoy was located, potentially violating both the Secret Service NDA and United States federal law. Tomas is fully aware of this. Quote, I signed paperwork, so if I don't have to get out information, I never do, otherwise I get in trouble. You really have to stand in awe of the lack of self-awareness.
There ain't nothing secret about what we do.
Tomas Escato also reveals that he voted for Biden and that he hates Trump and Vance's immigration policies.
Did you vote for Biden?
Yes, I did actually.
Yeah. What do you think about like all the ICE stuff going on?
Yeah, I hate that shit.
Yeah.
They're employing taxes that shouldn't be employed.
You may have seen reports last week that someone attempted to break into Vice President J.D. Vance's home in Ohio. That incident prompted us to take a closer look. What we found in our investigation was an agent inside the vice president's detail who was actually revealing to a total stranger that the vice president would be visiting his home in Ohio days ahead of time. And while what you're about to see is an important story, the security of the vice president and his family is our top priority. Now, under normal circumstances, our editorial policy is to request comment a day or two before a report airs. But in this case, we contacted the Secret Service a full week in advance of this report to ensure that nothing we report here would compromise the vice president's safety in any way. But even with those precautions, what we uncovered is troubling, and we felt this is important for you all to see. We hope that bringing this to light strengthens security and helps prevent future vulnerabilities in our government.
Can I see your badge again with your photo? You said you were training. It was your training?
Yeah, that's like 4 years ago.
You're so cute.
We met Thomas on the dating app Tinder in October of 2025. The Secret Service agent is a holdover from the Biden administration. He was actually originally tasked with protecting Kamala Harris and Doug Emhoff. In fact, he sent us this image from a Christmas party in December of 2024. There he is with Kamala Harris.
How did you get picked to do like vice president?
Not by choice, it's just they talk to you and they let you know, it's like, hey, eventually you're gonna have to go down to DC.
Okay.
All roads lead to DC. So you can go to the president's detail, the vice president's detail, what we call counter surveillance division, so that's undercover stuff.
Note the irony, he's talking about undercover counter surveillance to a journalist wearing a hidden camera. Tomas Escato is often directly involved in the vice president's transportation to and from his residence at the Naval Observatory, surveillance of the vice president's residence, and even protecting Vance's wife, Usha Vance, and their children. Here he complains again to a total stranger he just met about his assignment involving J.D. Vance's children.
So what are his kids like?
We went to school with them.
Oh.
Yeah, we follow them everywhere. There's a 24/7, there is no black coverage. Not like there's a babysitter with It's a weird one that we always talk about, like, but you can't do nothing.
Oh, you can't do anything.
Tomas proceeds to give our undercover journalist detailed info with pictures about the specific methods used to transport and protect the vice president. It even tells her some exact times of shift changes on the Secret Service schedule.
So like when he's like walking, like where are you? Just following.
Well, this is just, I mean, this is ridiculous. I don't want to play the whole video from O'Keefe, but I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. All right. We got an update from CENTCOM. Since resuming the naval blockade against Iran 9 days ago, CENTCOM's redirected 12 vessels, disabled one to prevent ships from entering or leaving the Iranian ports. That is what you get from DEI, 100%. 100%. Men are so easy to manipulate. Yeah, they are. I don't know. There's no sound with this, maybe? I don't know. Hey, Snake Eater. Great to see you. Explosions west of southern port city of Bandar Abbas, Keshem Island. No immediately official word on casualties. Okay. Well, we're going to see. I don't know. I mean, so that's what they're doing. So it says U.S. forces started another night of strikes against Iranian military targets at 6:45 p.m. Eastern time. 13th consecutive night it strikes to hold Iran accountable. So that's about it. Ooh, an F-16 jet takes off from a base in the Middle East. It's got white ones on the rail. So that's where we're at. That's all I got for that. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson aims to give reparations to illegal immigrants and residents impacted by ICE. Wow. Back when I was a bleeding heart liberal, I hated O'Keefe, but I have come to value what he reports. Well, me too. Snake Eater, I'm back. Move on. Yeah, what's up? Great to see you, and thanks for being here. So this guy is, Jesus Christ. I didn't think they could elect somebody stupider than Beetlejuice, but they did. The Chicago City Council overwhelmingly approved a referendum that will ask voters in November whether the city should seek financial compensation from the federal government for last year's Operation Midway Blitz. What? Mayor Johnson, who proposed the referendum, compared the ICE operation to a series of military actions that disrupted the lives of businesses and families, including those unlawfully residing in the country. So they want to try to get money from the government for enforcing federal law. The referendum that will appear on the November ballot shall the city of Chicago pursue all lethal means to recover financial compensation from the federal government for the costs and economic harm caused by the Donald Trump administration's violent militarized ICE operations, including Midway Blitz, to recover lost tax revenue, public safety response costs, and services provided to residents and family. Johnson cited numerous immigration enforcement actions that impacted the city in his proposal, including Texas officials busing illegal immigrants to Chicago without notice or adequate federal support, which he argued strained city resources. I thought they wanted all that stuff. I thought they wanted all those people there. Independent studies comparable ICE operations have found millions of dollars in economic losses to local communities. Additionally, Johnson said to City Council meeting that Chicago would be giving reparations to citizens who have been impacted by ICE residents who have been impacted by ICE raids. I'm sorry. This guy's a fucking clown.
I believe the most relevant ballot referenda question around receiving reparations for communities that experience that hardship, and whether that was on the west side of Chicago with a black man being placed in an illegal chokehold, or long guns being stuck into the faces of women and children, zip tied and thrown in vehicles, kidnapped, shot at. I mean, police officers, tear gas, right? And so the updated policy in the spirit of my executive order, there's stronger alignment to create.
All right. Well, I hope that the city of Chicago gets sued by its residents who were impacted by all the illegal immigration. You know, why can't anyone whose family member was raped or murdered or injured by illegal aliens, people who lost jobs to illegals? How about the people whose wages were depressed by illegal aliens? At some point, rally time would be nice, yes, but hey, pal, yeah, that's what I say. Go fuck yourself. Yeah. So, more than 800 legal immigrants were apprehended, including those with serious criminal histories, including murder, child rape, aggravated assault. Chicago's a sanctuary city, has one of the highest populations of illegal immigrants in the nation. Mayor Kami Johnson has fought the Trump administration's policies since the president returned to office. The Trump administration reported that Midway Blitz resulted in a vast decrease in crime in Chicago. See, they don't want that. They want crime to increase. That way they can say they need more laws against the citizens because of the crimes of the illegals. We got a Louisiana pastor is convicted of stealing over $340,000 from a congregation to fund gambling, meals, and lavish living. You don't say. You don't say. Why not send a bill to Chicago to pay for the ICE agents who had to be there? That's what they should do. That's 100% what they should do. Oh, huh. A Louisiana pastor known for his social media presence and motivational messaging has been convicted of defrauding his own congregation out of more than $340K, using church funds to bankroll gambling, dining, and other personal expenses. Dale Sanders, 56 of Kenner, was found guilty Friday of a 25-count superseding indictment charging with wire fraud, access device fraud, obstruction of a federal investigation. Following a 5-day jury trial before U.S. District Judge Brandon Long, the conviction was announced by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Louisiana. Hey, what's up, CF Rob? Good to see you. According to evidence presented at trial, Sanders defrauded 2 congregations he led. Hey, got a $5 donation from Jonathan Marcus. That's what he meant by rally time. Thank you so much. Got a $5 on the Cash App. Thank you so much. That means, folks, we are now just $18 away. Just $18 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you so much. Can be made. There's a link for PayPal. There's also coffee, Ko-Fi, super tips, all types of other stuff. Check it out. Thank you so much. I'll give you a heart there. Thank you. Everything's good in the hood. Yep, I got it. I got the 5 on Cash App. Thank you so much. Thank you. You live in Kenner. You never heard of this. Wow. So according to evidence, the 2 congregations he led, a second New Guide Missionary Baptist Church at Metairie, identified as Church A, and the 5th African Baptist Church of New Orleans, Church B, withdrawing funds, transferring money from church bank accounts into accounts he controlled. He also used a church debit card for unauthorized personal transactions, pocketing cash, goods, and services totaling over $340,000. Missionary Baptist churches are black churches. Thank you. Let's go, guys and gals. Let's put him over the edge. Well, it'll be nice. Prosecutors detailed some specific transactions in the superseding indictment. A $5,000 check from New Orleans Church, a $1,172 charge at Hard Rock Hotel in Florida, a $1,300 charge in a Mississippi casino, and even a $226 veterinary bill in Kenner. Well, maybe the veterinary bill was for like a church animal. Maybe they do snakes. Sanders was also convicted of obstructing federal investigations by providing false records in response to a grand jury subpoena. Jury convicted him of 15 counts of wire fraud, 11 counts of access device fraud, and 1 count of impeding a federal investigation. He was acquitted on 1 wire fraud count. Sentencing is set for October 13th. He faces 20 years in prison, a $250,000 fine, or the greater of twice the gross gain or twice the gross loss. Up to 3 years, supervised release, mandatory special assessment fees. So he might end up getting double the $300,000. So he might end up being $680,000 in the hole. After he was indicted, he posted a video to social media asking Congress to pray for his enemy. He thanked churchgoers, calling, texting, seeing me in person, and telling me that you're praying for me. And believe this, I feel your prayers. God is already working and moving by his spirit. Help me, Jesus, help me. This is what you can do for me. I need you to pray. Matthew 5:44. I need you to pray for my enemy. Bible says, pray for them. They spiteful. They use you. And they say all manner of evil against you falsely in my namesake. If you pray for my enemy, God will not only bless me, but he will deal with them. It's crazy. And he gone. On to the next story. Believe that. That's right. With your military assessment, Jim, where are we in degrading threats to the straight shipping lanes? I understand we can't stop them all, but acceptable amount. As far as what I understand, the straits, we're pretty much, the straits is not the issue. It's the other shipping routes, the Smellies and the Houthis. The Smellies have been hijacking ships and the Houthis, so they're working together. So, other countries are going to have to step up if they want to, it can't be just up to the U.S. Britain, the UK, and other countries are going to have to step up to, beat back the Houthis and the Smellies. Boy, that's a lot of fire and brimstone. Yeah. I reckon. An Arab migrant released into the U.S. under the Biden administration charged with luring and raping a 13-year-old girls, the luring and raping of 13-year-old girls, plural, in Utah Park. I'll be honest, I was having sex. Is that illegal here? Like in the park? One of the men told officers. So there's Arab migrants. So more than one girl. 2 foreign nationals allowed into the country by the Biden administration have been charged with raping 13-year-old girls while they're at a local park in Murray, Utah. What is going on in Utah? It sure seems like Utah is really going to shit. Like these fake fucking Republicans that run it. They're not Republicans. They're fucking Democrats. They claim to be Republican just so they get stupid Mormons to vote for them. And the Mormons there must be pretty stupid. They keep electing these idiots like the fucking governor who's a rhino cocksucker and these senators they got there and there's people in around. Like, what are they doing? What is going on? Both suspects were booked into Salt Lake County Jail. Police officers approached a vehicle at a local park and saw people getting dressed quickly. There were multiple used condoms outside the vehicle, and they found an 18-year-old male as well as a 13-year-old girl. On the scene, they arrested Yusuf Muzin Yusuf. And the other 18-year-old male, Ali Odaya Imad, was arrested shortly thereafter. The teenage girl said that her friend had just left with Ahmad and said they had also had sexual intercourse in the car. I'll be honest, I was having sex. Is that illegal here? Like in the park? The girl with Yusuf said that she felt like she was coerced into the act and that it was her first time doing so when she spoke to officials at a local hospital. We all know, in my opinion, Utah has always been shit. People getting dressed quickly is not a good sign. Yes, we all know elections are compromised, I'm sure. Yeah. Both men admitted they knew the girls were underage. They were both charged with rape of a child and are facing charges of lewdness involving a child and sexual abuse of a child. The men allegedly used various social media platforms to meet the underage girls and then sexually abuse them. Why are we letting these people into the country? Authorities believe they used similar tactics to get in contact with other victims as well. Both men were allowed into the U.S. as minors under the Biden administration, according to the Department of Homeland Security. I don't believe their ages. I bet you they're a lot older than they claim. They lie about their age to get into the country. DHS said the arrest, that Murray Department arrested Yusuf Muzin Yusuf for sexual abuse, rape, and lewdness with a child. He admitted that the United States in 2022 under the Biden administration. Murray police arrested Ali Omad Ada Ala Imad for lewdness involving a child and abuse of a child. Ahmad admitted into the U.S. in 2023 under the Biden administration. What's my thoughts on the Tate brothers? If they did any of these things, then they should be put under the jail. If this is just the UK government doing what the UK government does and going after people they don't like and don't agree with, because they sure don't seem to mind all the rape and shit going on by Muslims in their country, but for some reason, the Tate brother Muslims, they don't like and are going after them. So I think there's like a hypocrisy here. Like they should all be treated the same. They got these grooming gangs raping people going over, but yet they're going back 15 years after some shit supposedly with the Tates. I don't know. I don't know anything about the Tates. They don't strike me as like I don't believe the shit they're selling, the tapes, to stupid kids, to stupid boys, and young men. But if they did any of this stuff, they should belong under the jail. But I don't trust the UK government. Changes to the Salt Lake City jail docket are raising questions after some inmates' details, including age and country of origin, were removed from public view. You don't say. The sheriff's office say the updates tied to a new privacy laws. Here's a closer look. The policy was not enacted in 2022. The Government Privacy Act outlined Utah code became official May 1st, 2024, was updated in the legislature in 2025. The Salt Lake County Council adopted county policy number 2022. Since 2025, Salt Lake County policy was adopted. The Sheriff's Office has been reviewing public-facing data systems to ensure compliance with the state law and county policy. Compliance require coordination with the legal counsel and updated systems. What does this require? The policy limits how much personal data agency can collect and share. It states agency may only request and process the minimum amount of personal data from individuals that are reasonably necessary, efficient to achieve the purpose. So what they're basically saying is they don't want anybody finding out if somebody's an illegal alien. They don't want them looking at any of that. The Sheriff's Office said it does not determine citizenship or immigration status. That responsibility falls to the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. What if a booking shows a federal detainer? Salt Lake County says they cannot confirm whether a detainer is tied to immigration enforcement. Anyone seeking that information is directly contact ICE. Example of a new booking information. Oh, look at this. A, B, booking number. Oh, won't say no detainer information. It doesn't say race. It doesn't say anything. Oh, they got rid of all that stuff. They don't want people knowing any races anymore. It's clear they started to hide it once we noticed it. Our Democrat sheriff doesn't want us to know how many foreigners here illegally are victimizing people in Utah. Maybe, but it just maybe noticing this data and others reporters have used and reported for years. Yeah, whatever. It was initially unclear from which country the foreign nationals were from because Salt Lake County Jail recently made changes so that the country of origin is not in public view. The move from the Democrat-led city has drawn heavy scrutiny online from Republican in a Republican majority state. Well, maybe they should do something about it then instead of crying about it. Maybe they should do something about it. Because otherwise you'll have stuff like this going on. Hey, look at this. Tornado Annie with a 20 spot. Thank you so much. And that means, folks.
Tactical assessment. Red Chinese victory. Impossible. America will never fall to communist invasion. Communism is the very definition of failure.
With that 20 from Tornado Annie, thank you so much, folks. That means we are now just $98 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Thank you, everybody who was so generous tonight. I'll update the goal there on YouTube in 1 second. Thank you very much. Very generous. Thank you. They did dox Reckless Ben. Yes, they did dox Reckless Ben. That's crazy. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I will update the goal on YouTube for another hour. We're 98 away from another hour. Another hour. Start another goal. Add it for an hour. We'll see how much longer we go. Yes. It's crazy how they do the rules for some people, not for other people. We got only 98 likes too. That's crazy. And we got 154 people watching. We could really, use a couple more likes there on YouTube. It would be nice to get some more likes and some more, hit the like button and subscribe also, but definitely hit the like button. Be nice. Be cool. Be cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because otherwise we'll get stuff like this if you don't be cool. You get 2 stabbed with screwdrivers on Manhattan's Upper West Side. Suspect reportedly shouted Allahu Akbar during the attack. He yelled, Aloha snack bar. Aloha Snack Bar. Yes. Yeah. F. Yeah. YouTube is asshole. So there's that. I forgot hitting the like button right now. Well, thank you, Lynn. Clean screwdriver or a dirty one? He probably had it in his prison pocket. Shadowing says, I'm back. Been catching up on D-backs baseball, yelling at my AI for getting it wrong again. Well, it'll happen. Is that a doggy in the upper left window? It is a doggy. She wags her tail. Dawn Darkstar 86, thank you for being here. It's so great to see you. That's Bella. We activate Bella Vision for the show. You have a small tablet? No problem. Yep, that's Bella. See? That's a Bella girl. Bella girl. Bella girl. She's sleeping. She's out cold. The people most concerned with diversity and race are the most willing to hide diversity and race of their criminals. Yes. Police be upon them. Yes, right. Aloha Snack Bar. Police be upon you. So the suspect's been identified by NYPD Commissioner Tisch as a 50-year-old Raul Morales is under arrest in connection with the stabbing. How do you highlight chatter's name to respond? I just click on it in StreamYards like this right now. Two people were stabbed with a screwdriver on Upper West Side. The two victims, 57 and 51, stabbed in the back, and one was stabbed in the chest. One victim was confirmed to be a Jewish man, and the other one is an Asian man. Both victims were transported to hospital and are in stable condition. Unidentified suspect taken into custody. Councilwoman Iana Vernokova lashed out at the Kami Mandami's administration after stabbing. This comes a day after Mandami incited more violence against New York City Jews. F you, Mandami. Arrest them, deport them, do capital punishment, whatever, I am for it. Yes. Yes. Two men, aged 40 and 50, were stabbed with a screwdriver on Upper West Side. He yelled, Allah Akbar, during the attempted murder. Comes after Mandami incites more violence after New York City Jews. One victim is seriously injured. Two men stabbed. New York City hate crime. Screwdriver to assault the Muzzies? Dirty. Well, no, it's a guy. I guess, I don't know. Why he would yell Aloha Akbar. According to reports, the Jewish man was wearing a kippah and walking to synagogue. Suspect stabbed him with a screwdriver. Hearing reports of residents that a Jewish man wearing a kippah was stabbed with a screwdriver while he was walking to synagogue. More stories coming. Upper West Side, is that the Hart region? I don't know. I don't know. So more hate crimes. They're just going to keep happening. There's more raging about Israel and how the Jews control everything, and that's what's going to happen. Missouri prosecutor removed for helping illegal alien evade cops and a series of sexual relationships with attorneys and defendants. This sounds like a fun prosecutor. She looks like she gets down. Yeah, she looks like she gets down. Yeah. A judge has stripped a Missouri prostituter of her authority after it was revealed that she had an inappropriate sexual relation with an illegal immigrant facing sex crime charges. Ray County prostituter Camille Johnston allegedly helped a criminal immigrant who she was prostituting with escape law enforcement by transferring her car title to him and not disclosing his whereabouts. Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway's office filed a petition for a quo warranto last week seeking Johnston's removal for a series of inappropriate relationships, including with an attorney and multiple defendants. A judge granted preliminary order temporarily barring Johnston from practicing law in the state as the case proceeds. Good. Legal alien Johnston allegedly assisted has been identified as Juan David Gutierrez, who's been charged with sodomy and attempted sodomy for a 2019 sexual assault of Ray County woman. Johnston was reportedly Gutierrez's girlfriend when he allegedly abused the female victim and knew he was unlawfully residing in the United States. So she was dating this guy who raped another woman. And she was like, not going to, like, what? Hanway said Johnson has a history of having improper relationships with individuals being prostituted by the Ray County District Attorney's Office. Respondent engaged in romantic and intimate relations with private defense counsel. That means she was fucking them. While defense counsel was representing several criminal defendants who respondent was prostituting. In addition, in regard to Gutierrez, Johnston assisted this individual in avoiding arrest and detention. She facilitated his absconding by providing him with a vehicle. Shadowing, if they post a super chat, there is a reply button on the bottom of the chat. To highlight other chats, just spell the username correctly. Yeah, it should, if you're in the chat, if you just type the name, if you hit the @ sign and start typing, the names of the people in the chat should populate so you can choose who you want to talk to. Still no color. I'm as bad as AI. Well, you can just become a member. That's what you can do. When an elected official treats public office like their personal playground, betraying the public trust, ignoring legal obligations, and putting self-interest first, removal isn't a suggestion, it's a necessity. Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway told Fox News in a statement that Johnston's record reflects neglect that has undermined the integrity of the prosecutor's office and poses a serious threat to public safety. In Missouri, public office is public trust, not personal entitlement. No one is above accountability. The Missouri Attorney General was first notified about Johnston's relationship with Gutierrez in May 2024. What? That's over 2 years ago, when she received a letter from Richmond County Police Chief Scott Bagley, who disclosed the relationship. Johnston failed to recuse during the investigation of the sexual assault case against Gutierrez. Hanaway's office said, additionally, the petition states that Gutierrez is a citizen of Mexico and has been illegally present in the U.S. since at least 2019. I keep unplugging the AI. I'm less inclined to cuss that way. Oh, good. Lawyers in love. Yeah, well. But the banging, screaming federal judge is okay in Georgia. What's up with that? It's not okay. I believe that judge is supposed to go, but, judges protect judges. So after Gutierrez was charged with sex crimes, he fled the state with the help of Johnston, who transferred or car titled him in 2023 to avoid authorities. Johnston visited him several times after he left Missouri, including vacationing with Gutierrez in Mississippi and Florida. Oh, let me find this guy in Florida. Brett Scorby says, well, I guess we can infer she likes butt sex. Yeah, I guess we can. Itchy belly, yes. Hey, Ameriqua, what's up? Great to see you. This is just gross. This woman should be in jail. Not just, you lose your law license. Oh, and it can't be a prostitute anymore. No, she should be in prison. In prison. Watch your six. That's right. Disabled, widow on limited income. You're my first when I can afford to join. Well, thank you. Greatly appreciated. Mississippi County Clerk, or is it Michigan or Mississippi? I think it's Michigan. County Clerk drops bombshell. 1,062 non-citizens found in jury pool list. 40 are registered to vote in one county. Macomb County Clerk G. Forlini is once again exposing a serious ongoing problem in Michigan's election system. Bella has an itchy belly. She does. And Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson refuses to fix the problem. From January 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026, Forlini's office identified more than 1,000 prospective jurors who self-reported that they are not U.S. citizens. Of those individuals, 40 were found registered to vote in Macomb County's qualified voter file. I thought registering to vote was what being on the voter registration is what qualified you to be in the jury pool. Huh. 5 of them even have a history of voting. Uh-oh. Total number of non-citizens self-reporting out of the jury pool, 640. Or 1062. Found in the qualified voter file, 40. Uh-oh. Self-reporting that they show a history of voting, 5. The clerk's office referred the findings to the Michigan Bureau of Elections on January 13th, April 28th, and July 10th. The Gateway Pundit reported that Fortini identified 239 non-citizens in the jury pool over 4 months. 14 have been registered to vote. It's unconscionable that this problem continues. To provide greater transparency, our office posts a running daily tally of these findings on our website so the public can stay informed and lawmakers can better understand the scope of the issue as they consider reforms. Well, shadowings, you might get lucky here because CD117 gifted 5 Jim Tells You membership. Thank you so much, CD117. That means we are now just $68 away, folks. Just $68 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Let's see who got those memberships. It says CD17 received a gifted membership. So he gave himself a membership. And Joanne Wall received a gifted membership. Janine Spratt, 1235. Ben Togel. I haven't seen Ben Togel in a long time. I wonder how he's doing. Crazy Lady P2583 received a gifted membership. Well, thank you to all for being here. Thank you to CD117 for the gifted memberships. And welcome to the JimSomniac, CD117, Joan Wall, Gene Spratt, Ben Togel, and Crazy Lady. Thank you. That is cool. Thank you so much. Keep watching my 6-7. Thanks. 6-7, 6-7, 6-7. Under Michigan law, only U.S. citizens are eligible to vote or serve on a jury, yet non-citizens continue to receive jury summons because the jury pool is generated from the Secretary of State's driver's license database, which includes non-citizens. Yeah, this lady right here. The jury pool is generated from the Secretary of State's driver's license database, which includes individuals who are not citizens. Our staff spends a considerable amount of time verifying the citizenship status of those who self-report. Cross-checking those records against qualified voter file helps identify potential registration issues that should be reviewed. Michigan residents deserve confidence that only eligible citizens are participating in our elections and our jury system. Forlini also voiced support for the Department of Justice review of Michigan's voter rolls. And Harmeet Dillon, you got to get this bitch, Harmeet. Got to get her. Get her, Harmeet, get her. I support the Department of Justice review because the integrity of our elections deserve a thorough examination whenever credible concerns are identified. Our office documented instances where individuals who identified themselves as non-U.S. citizens also appeared in the qualified voter file, and we referred those findings to the Bureau of Elections. Following the facts and correcting any weakness strengthens public confidence in our elections. In my county, they use registered voters, not driver's license. Well, that's most counties use registered voters because that's how they know you're a citizen. Despite repeated referrals from Forlini's office, the problem persists under Michigan's dirty Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson. I hear she's real dirty. She's a real dirty bird. Michigan residents are left wondering how many non-citizens remain on the voter rolls and how many have already cast ballots. Forlini's a Republican candidate for Michigan Secretary of State, and should he trust Benson to run a free and fair election given her history of cheating? Good question. She's a cheater, pumpkin eater, had a wife and couldn't keep her. Should he be concerned about the fate as Michigan's next Secretary of State? As all these lies at the hands of dirty Jocelyn Benson, as Dirty Bird Benson? She's overseeing both his and her own election. I call BS on her. I live in this county, and she's a real piece of shit. Well, I heard she's a real dirty bird. The same Secretary of State who's blocking the Department of Justice demand that she turn over the voter rolls to ensure no non-citizens are voting. Yeah, she's dirty. Dirty birdie. She's a dirty birdie. Well, something got to happen. Something got to give. Something's got to give. The Colombian president, Gustavo Petro, challenges presidential election, sues the Colombian court to annul results. Of course. Commie's going to commie. You know what I'm saying? Commie's going to commie. That's how it goes. New drop from CENTCOM? Okay, I'll check it out. All it says is U.S. concludes 13th night of strikes. Forces successfully completed a 13th night of strikes. They targeted command centers, drone storage facilities, communication networks. They're going to further diminish Iran's threat to the Strait of Hormuz. The international waterway remains open for transit despite the recent attacks. More than 50,000 service members are currently operating. So, oh, we got some new video footage. Oh, that looks like some kind of a rocket launcher or something. Talrico's going to lose by over 20%. I hope so. Wow, look at that. Wow. So that's it. That's the report from CENTCOM. So let's get into this clown. So on August 7th, Albedardo Espriella is set to be sworn in as the Colombian president, known as Empalme. However, not without a challenge. Outgoing president, who is not on the ballot and is term limited, has challenged the June runoff victory in Colombian courts following the suspension of Empalme by De La Espriella early this month. Petro sued in Colombia's Council of State, sitting as the Administrative Litigation Chamber's fifth section. According to the filing after translation in English, Petro's argued that the election authorities significantly reduced transparency and technical safeguards that were previously used to authenticate and verify official election documents. No, you're thinking of Brandon Herrera is running for Congress, and that's not donut operator. He's the AK guy, and he's going to win. Talrico can always hang out with Harry Sisson, two of a kind. So polling station documents, E14s, no longer include key metadata timestamps. Petro's asked the court to compel the production of records to include logs, hash values, version histories, protocols. Petro seeks the invalidation of the official results, or alternatively is calling for a new canvass or judicial audit, a forensic inspection of election systems. The Gateway Pundit previously reported last month, immediately following the runoff, Petro began to call into question results. In one of many posts from June, Petro claims that 177,000 votes in favor of Alberto came from overseas voters, especially in the U.S. More recently, Petro took to X to claim that they took down pages where he posted evidence of algorithmic electoral fraud carried out in the U.S. He claimed that the Bautista brothers software is vulnerable to internal and external actions against the vote. Colombian claimed that the CIA, that hash lock files were changed in the post. Wow.
En este video les voy a mostrar cómo al descargar los E14 de la página de la registraduría están cambiados los candados hash. Aquí hay varios documentos que hemos encontrado con irregularidades, pero les voy a dar el ejemplo de uno solo.
This is retarded. So, well, imagine that. At least the Venezuelans rewrote the hash files rather than just flat out deleting a majority of them in Fulton County. Last week, the State Department released a statement by the members of the Shield of Americas that they reinforce support for the Colombian election. We observe with deep concern the recent statements and actions that, without duly substantiated grounds, cast doubt on the integrity of the electoral process in the Republic of Colombia and generate uncertainty regarding the normal course of institutional transition. In every constitutional democracy, the sovereign will of the citizens, freely expressed at the ballot box and formalized by the competent electoral authorities, constitute the sole foundation of the legitimacy of public power. You love Brandon, but he's young. I think he might be good. He's not that young. I think he's in his 30s. He should be okay. And Espanol, yeah, I don't, So we reject any action, statement, or decision that seeks to delegitimize the mandate confirmed by the citizens. So I guess this guy's just pissed because the USAID money was gone that kept him in power. We issue a firm call to all Colombian authorities to act in strict adherence to the Constitution, the law, and the democratic principles. to respect the results officially proclaimed by the competent electoral authorities, and to guarantee a peaceful, orderly, and transparent transition in accordance with the highest standards, the rule of law. I mean, this guy might want to be careful because he might end up getting arrested after the new guy comes into power trying to, do a coup, right? That's what, that's what we've heard. If you do the shit that he's doing right now, that's grounds to be arrested and prosecuted. James Tellrico endorses reparations for slavery, suggests it's part of his faith tradition. Huh, you don't say. You don't say. July 20th town hall style campaign stop in DeSoto, Texas. Democrat Senate candidate James Tellrico endorsed the idea of reparations for Black Americans when pressed on the issue. Restoration, repairing past harms is part of my faith tradition. It's part of the values I was raised with. Exactly why we need a lot of the policies we've been talking about to invest in Black communities, to invest in Black Texans, whether it's tuition relief, whether it's home ownership grants, whether it's baby bonds to ensure they're helping build generational wealth. This guy is like a...
Do you support reparations, and would you legislate for an anti-Black crime bill?
Thank you.
What does it mean by anti-Black crime bill?
Restoration, repairing past harms is part of my faith tradition. It's part of the values I was raised with. And it's exactly why we need a lot of the policies we've been talking about here to invest in Black communities, to invest in Black Texans, whether it's tuition relief, whether it's home ownership grants, whether it is baby bonds to ensure that we are helping to build that generational wealth. We have to correct the injustices of our past. I talked about Sam Branch, Texas. I don't think I mentioned that Sam Branch is a freedman community. So we are seeing the reverberations of slavery in modern day Texas all over the place. And until we as a society are committed to righting those past wrongs, of restoring our Black communities, we're never going to be able to get this country back on track. And
restoring them to what exactly? What are you going to restore them to? This doesn't make any sense. They are corrected. People are getting too many Gibbs. That's right. Too many Gibbs. Gibbs me dads. Have I seen the O'Keefe video about the naval officer in the Pentagon who says he'll undermine Trump? No, I didn't see that video. Go pay him yourself. That's right, Judith. Garfield says, hold up. Why is the U.S. allowing for the potential nuclear Saudi Arabia, the same Saudis who had ties to 9/11 hijackers? I don't have an answer for that. I really don't. I really don't have an answer to that. I don't know. I don't know why the Saudi Arabians would need to enrich anything. Would they need to have any nuclear anything? They have enough oil and stuff. Doesn't make any sense. Slavery in Texas? Where? Yeah, he's saying there's still modern day slavery in Texas. That's what he said. That's what he said. He thinks there's modern day slavery. He's talking about a freedmen's community. So it's been around for 150 years and still the same community. Tellrico framed the proposal as a form of reparative justice, arguing the government should address what he describes as the enduring economic effects of slavery through targeted investments in Black communities across Texas. We have to correct the injustices of our past. So, yeah. While there is a little Texas-specific polling on reparations, national surveys have consistently shown the proposal is unpopular. 23% of Americans said the government should make cash payments to Black Americans, while a majority said it should not. The remaining 19% were undecided. And so we in this election have a prime opportunity, not because is the Senate seat we could determine the Senate majority, but all you know that if we win Texas, it's going to be an earthquake in American politics. It will transform the politics of this nation, will allow us to build political will to repair those past harms. What a pandering demon piece of shit this guy is. What a piece of shit. Hey, what's up? Dyslexic dude, how you doing? How's it going? Lots of unanswered questions tonight. Yeah. I never owned a slave. My parents, grandparents, and my great-parents have not owned slaves. Yeah. What's up, Class 21? It kind of does make sense, Jim. It's less oil they have to use for power, and that means they can sell, making them more money and it could also drive the price down. In 1865, the Freedmen's Bureau Act helped newly freed African Americans displaced Southerners after Civil War by providing food, housing, and medical aid. Yeah, and then the Democrats got rid of it. Just being we did. Yeah, I get you. So, deadly Sinaloa cartel co-founder sentenced to life in prison in order to surrender $15 billion. Ishmael El Mayo Zambada Garcia, the cartel's co-founder, alongside Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, was also ordered to forfeit $15 billion in proceeds generated through the organization's vast drug trafficking network. Puerto Rico is a carpetbagger. Yes. One of the world's most notorious drug lords has been sentenced to life in prison after U.S. court finally secured his conviction after decades of leading the Sinaloa cartel. Hey, Kelly J., thanks for being here. Great to have you. Ismael El Mayo, the cartel's co-founder, was also ordered to forfeit $15 billion in proceeds generated through the organization's drug trafficking network. The world's most powerful federal prosecutors say Garcia spent 4 decades overseeing one of the world's most powerful criminal syndicates, flooding Americans' communities with cocaine, fentanyl, heroin, methamphetamine, while ordering the murders of rivals, informants, and anyone who threatened the cartel's operations. How about the chick from The View wanting reparations? It turns out her family owned slaves. Yeah, it's funny, right? Yeah. Sonny Hostin. Yeah. Authorities estimate the Sinaloa cartel generated tens of billions of dollars annually at its peak and has been linked to tens of thousands of deaths. Garcia was arrested in Tejas in 2024 after allegedly being tricked onto a private aircraft by Joaquin Guzman Lopez, one of El Chapo's sons, who prosecutors say secretly flew him across the border where FBI agents and Homeland Security officers were waiting. Garcia believed he was going to meet with local politicians and fellow cartel figures. His capture triggered a bloody internal war between rival Sinaloa factions that left thousands dead or missing. I reported on this at the time, that it was crazy that they snuck him across the border. Like, they tricked him and turned, like, El Chapo's sons brought him in, and they all basically like, here you go. Jonathan says, my first ancestors came to the U.S. in the 1890s, so I'm going to pay for what? Doesn't make any sense. He said, El Mayo spent nearly 4 decades poisoning American communities to make billions of dollars. Today, that chapter closes for good. Justice does not have an expiration date. No matter how powerful you become or how long you evade justice, the DEA will not stop pursuing you. So that's good. El Mayo. In Nigeria, at least 12 members of the Christian community killed in Fulani attacks over 3 days. A Christian community leader who appealed for peace with Fulani Islamist herdsmen was killed the following day in an attack by the same militant group. 2 youths returning from an artisanal mining site were shot dead in the same attack days after 9 other members of the community had already been killed in a separate assault. This is what Trump's talking about when he's saying we got to do something to protect the Christians in Africa. It's this stuff. The killings are the latest in a wave of violence that has left Barkin Ladi local government area in Plateau State among the hardest hit part of Nigeria's Middle Belt this year. The majority of Christians in Barkin Ladi and surrounding parts of Plateau State are farmers, but sustained attacks have displaced many from their land. Repeated attacks on people working in the fields have left many with no land left to farm. As a result of the ongoing violence nationwide, more than 4 million people have been displaced, the majority of them Christian farmers. Hey, not that Karen. Good evening, my fellow anti-communists. That's right. There's only one good way to get rid of a commie. Some communities have given up on farming altogether. Others cultivate only smaller plots close to the settlements rather than more exposed fertile land farther south. A few communities have even abandoned tall crops such as maize because they fear the plants could conceal Fulani terrorists as they approach a village. Dyslexic Darderg. My German ancestors were in the USA in the late 1700s to early 1800s. Good for you. My ancestors fought for the North and several were killed. Where are my reparations, Gigi's mom? Well, that's a good question. I'm Irish. I know we were the slaves at some point. Come on. As a result, many have turned to artisanal mining to support their families. However, the mining sector is largely controlled by armed groups who extort Christian miners for the right to work the sites or kill them as a return from the mines in the evening. Boss Pam Pham, community chairman of the Urbakawajui community in Barkanladi, said the attack began at 12:30 p.m., where local youths went out to the artisanal mining just past a nearby river. I do not trust the UK PM. Seems he's trying to just kill momentum for snap elections. Maybe. Maybe. Could be. Possible. Militants attempted to move on the remaining youths at the mining site, but the youths fled. The incident's the latest in a pattern of near daily violence across Plateau State, where a coalition of indigenous youth groups reported 50 people killed and hundreds displaced in a single week. A December 2025 mining site killing that left 12 dead. Pham called on security agencies to live up to their responsibilities. Despite that, residents have repeatedly described soldiers failing to respond during attacks, even when stationed nearby. In one case, Mangu local government area, a youth leader said residents ran to a nearby military checkpoint as gunmen attacked their village. They pleaded with roughly 10 soldiers to intervene, but were told it was not their line of duty. Residents of the Gashish district in Bakanladi similarly accused security personnel of routinely failing to respond to distress calls. They said the troops arrived only after the violence had ended to make arrests. The frustration led residents to destroy a military checkpoint in protest. We wouldn't want to be accused of colonizing Africa. We shouldn't get involved if white. I guess Pham noted the militants' question have grazed in the area for a long time without prior confrontation. He said his community has never fought with them or provoked them. Despite this, the militants continued to destroy farmland. Hey, Roselle Jam, what's up? Great to see you. The ongoing conflict over mining and grazing land comes months after Governor Caleb Mutfwang following a wave of attacks, banned night mining statewide and prohibited both night grazing and grazing by underage herders. The measure reflects the government's acknowledgement that mining sites and grazing routes have become flashpoints. He identified an area called Blackaborak just across from the community as a staging ground for militants used to plan attacks. He appealed for government surveillance on the site so that both grazing and farming could proceed without conflict. He said the community wants peaceful coexistence, but if push comes to shove, the only option will be death. Wow. I guess you better start beating those plowshares into swords. Pham added the people are peace-loving and that their parents had always counseled against revenge attacks or responding to provocation. He said the security response time has been fair, but more must be done to stop the killings and allow residents to pursue their livelihood safely. The killing comes amid a renewed federal tension on the security crisis. The meeting produced a peaceful and secure repertoire recommending measures extending beyond military deployment, including assistance for displaced persons and livelihood restoration. The Christian Association of Nigeria has also said it's a shame that the state historically known for peace continues to experience unchecked violence. I didn't know Nigeria was known for peace. You learn something new every day. I thought Africa in general was known for war, genocide, starvation, and just rampant death. But hey, what do I know? ICE arrests Ecuadorian illegal alien boarding a Southwest flight at Denver Airport, screaming open border leftist interferes. Well, of course they do. ICE arrests illegal alien from Ecuador. The woman was taken into custody while bystanders filmed screaming, "Help us, ICE is here." She overstayed her visa and remained in the country illegally. She's now in ICE custody pending deportation or removal procedures. Video circulating shows plainclothes agents confronting the woman. The Southwest gate agent stepped in and warned the disrupted passengers that she would not be allowed to board if she continued interfering. And the hoodoo, don't forget the hoodoo. Yeah, the Houthis, the Tutsis, the Putis, and the Fruities.
Lawyer. The lawyer's outside. I'm not impeding anything. I'm standing away from you. I'm asking you for her lawyer.
We're going to be very nice to you and very help you very kindly and with respect.
You don't have to look at me. You don't have to.
You don't have to say anything. Chantal, say
She doesn't
nothing.
have to-
Say nothing, Chantal. Say nothing at all. Offer them nothing. Show them nothing.
And furthermore, I'm going to advise you. You're interfering with a federal
I'm
law
not.
warrant.
I'm standing
I
right
will
here.
charge you with 18
I'm not
USC
in your way.
111.
I'm not in your way. I'm standing out of your
But
way.
You can continue on.
No, I'm just going to stand here. I'm not in your way at all.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not in your way.
We're going this way. Okay.
Yeah. She's right outside the door, Chantal.
And she's right outside, and that's fine. You can. We're going to close the door.
Hey!
And you're going to continue on.
No, I don't have to do that. Chantal, stop. Where are you? Help! Help! Help us! Hey, you guys, come help us! ICE is here. Help us! Help us! No, don't show me in. I don't have to. No, stop. No, I'm not going to do that. You come on this side. That's fine.
You're allowed to record their faces. You're allowed to record them. You're allowed to record them.
Very nice.
I don't give a fuck if you're being nice. Fuck you.
Come on.
I'm sorry. If I was in public and saw this shit happening, I would be going off on these people, telling them what the fuck is wrong with you. Like, these protesters are just shitbag traitors to the country.
This is fucking evil, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Who gives a fuck if you're being polite? Fuck you.
I'm gonna just give you a heads up.
Shut up!
If you're on this flight,
No!
speak to them like that. You will not board this flight.
What, you like ICE? You're into ICE? You like ICE? You don't have to defend him.
The pilot is very well aware.
I don't care what the pilot is aware of.
But you have a choice right now. You can either get on the plane.
Wait, you're not in charge of me.
No, not of you.
You're not in charge of me.
I'm just gonna say you can make a choice.
No, I'm not talking to you. You should be ashamed of yourself. Everybody, this man is harassing a woman. He arrested her for nothing. Fuck you. Fuck ICE. Fuck ICE. Fuck ICE.
Look at these fucking weirdos, man. Like, fuck these people. Thank you for stepping up. Oh, no problem. Who stepped up? What are you talking about? Why can't they arrest people who interfere? Yeah, they should. That's what I think. Arrest them all. Get rid of more faster. That's right. So the fundraiser for the woman living in California who was detained, and of course, by ICE, has surpassed $100,000 in 2 days. Who are these people? Where's this money coming from? Who are these fucking idiots with money? GoFundMe was set up after agents detained Chantel Alejandra Rojas on the jetway. The Ecuadorian national arrived in the U.S. on a temporary visa and applied for asylum, according to the fundraiser page. No. Keep people with mental problems off the plane. That's what I say. Southwest denied alerting DHS about the immigration status. The airline explained that TSA and DHS already have access to passenger information through the federal security screening process. The airline also said employees are instructed to ensure that law enforcement officers present the appropriate legal documentation before conducting operations in the gate area. Denver Airport similarly noted that federal agencies that have jurisdiction at the airport are not required to notify airport officials before taking action. The fundraisers for the beloved Oakland residents who spent 2 years as an au pair for an ultimate Frisbee family. So this family is hiring an illegal, arrest the family for employing an illegal alien. Has anyone seen the ads for ride on luggage? Going to change the traffic inside airports going to be like rodeos? I don't know. If I can't fly with the proper ID, how can an illegal fly? Well, that's the thing. And who's this family that she's been au pair for that's been paying her for 2 years illegally? She didn't come here she didn't have a work visa. She didn't have permission to work here. She came on a tourist visa for 90 days and never left. She entered the U.S. lawfully on a J1, comply with terms of her visa, and has a recent pending application. That's not true. That's not true. They're lying. She's living and working in Oakland. She doesn't have the right to work here. That's all lies. Lies, lies, lies. She came on a visa and was supposed to leave. She wasn't supposed to come here and work. Fucking lies, man. Governor Healy endorsed massive two-shits LGBTQ nonprofit, advertised paying white kids less than black and brown kids to model for a photo shoot on the basis of racial equity. Well, that sounds to me like they should get sued into oblivion. A Framingham massive two-shits LGBTQ organization was endorsed by Healy, openly advertised a marketing photo shoot that paid white models less than people of color as a commitment to racial equity. That's not what any of that fucking means. Yeah, whoever she worked for should be legally should be prosecuted. Yes. The nonprofit described its mission as building communities where LGBT youth thrive through social. The coordination with Rose Wine Photography promoted a youth photo shoot. According to the report, the group saw 20 LGBT youths. Participants would have the option for free professional headshots. White youth would be paid $20. BIPOC would be paid $25. Well, this is unconstitutional and illegal. So go after them all. BIPOC youth are paid at a higher rate to align to our commitment to racial equity. After the ad went viral and the legal issues were pointed out, the organization changed the fee to $20 with the possible bonus if the photos are used at a higher rate with prime photo placement. So they changed it to try to get around it. They should still be prosecuted. Obviously, the revised language can still allow selective race-based handling of the bonuses. Yeah, well, massive two shits. Fair employment practices makes it unlawful to discriminate to pay on basis of race or color for any employer. Federal Title VII of the Civil Rights Act does the same. Publicly advertising a rate card that pays participants differently based on race is ordinarily the kind of thing that the Massachusetts Commission Against Discrimination is set up to look at. But they won't because, they don't care. Financial filings show an annual revenue in the hundreds of thousands of dollars from the private donors and foundations. They should be sued. The ad drew public attention. Governor Healy continues to list the group among the state's LGBTQ plus resources. There she is endorsing it.
Hi, everyone. I'm sorry I can't be with you tonight in person, but I wanted to wish you congratulations on your 10th annual Come Out and Celebrate Gala. Thank you to everyone who creates and contributes to spaces like this, our caregivers, our hardworking staff, volunteers, board members, supportive adults, everyone in this room. The work that Out Metro West does to support young people in Massachusetts is just so important, especially right now, because across this country, our community is facing an onslaught of anti-gay, anti-trans legislation, with book bans, with restrictions on healthcare, with those trying to...
Fuck you. So they advertise a photo shoot that pays white kids less. Oh, well. The governor has not publicly responded to the discriminatory practices. Of course she hasn't. Why would she respond? Why would she respond? Makes no sense for her to respond. Yeah, I refuse to engage with anyone after explaining the illegal act of being here illegally is a crime that revokes any other legal claim. Yes, I agree. You just threw up in your mouth a little bit. I'm sorry. I hate that happens. I do that too. Because blacks are arrested more than they think they are targeted, it never occurs to them they commit more crimes. Well, hey, B Hops, what's up? Good to see you, buddy. What's up, Tattoo Lady? Good to see you. What's that, a Cunts Are Us commercial? I think so. Sounds like the alphabet soup can't spell legal. Well, they try. Obama Center subcontractor faces a $4 million loss, lays off 25 amid payment dispute. Just when you... sorry. It happens. I know. It happens. So just when you think it can't get any worse, they go and do some shit like this. Obama Presidential Center opened with promises of economic opportunity for Chicago's South Side, but now one of the subcontractors is left fighting for survival. You get choked up when you talk about Obama too. Oh. Just popped in for a second long day. Well, thanks for being here. Always helps. Adamson Plumbing Contractors, a Chicago-based company that worked on the center under the name of Marsh Adamson, has suspended operations and laid off 25 union employees after owner Mike Owen says the company was left $4 million in the hole following years of construction disputes, delays, and unpaid costs. Bella farted and Jim took it. Cough. I don't think so. it allows them to commit more crime because we don't enforce the law on them enough. Everyone is afraid of being called a racist, and that's what happens. Fox News, that company's collapse came months after. We have a video. We can listen to the guy talk, right? So I think that's what I'll do. Allegations from multiple black subcontractors say they suffered financial losses. So let's see here. We have him right here. We can hear him talk. Why would I read it when we can hear him talk about it?
We trusted that the payment would be made, and it wasn't. And it just was the final death.
Oh, no, shit. Sorry. My bad. Oh, man. I don't know how that happened. My bad.
The payment would be made, and it wasn't. And it just was the final death blow to the company. It was in the company's best interest to suspend all operations moving forward until we could get back on solid financial ground. It was not an easy decision to make. Laying off close to 30 people is something that no owner in our industry wants to do. Thankfully,
real quick, before I get back to this, I just want to let everybody know, it says on the YouTube goal, we got 12 minutes left, but I plan on going at least another 20, maybe. We'll see what happens. We are currently 68 away from a second hour. So if we get 68 in the next 20 minutes or so, as long as it comes in before I end, I'll obviously honor it. But we're 68 away from another hour. So just let everybody know.
everybody, including the apprentices, were able to catch on with other companies. We actually had about a half a dozen other projects that I had to make the decision and walk away from. It's a hard thing to do, especially when you know you can finish them and the company can still make money. But we were put in a pretty bad corner, and I also felt that the responsible thing to do was to talk to those other clients, explain the situation, and just say it's best if we allow another contractor to come in and finish. We negotiated to have 2 journeymen work for 2 weeks at night, so that's premium time. On top of, they also agreed to provide what came out to roughly 25% of our retention as our agreement to do the work. They verified it via email, went ahead and asked us to revise our May billing, which we did. And we went and had our vendor waivers procured. So really all we were waiting for was for the money to hit the bank, and it never happened. And that hurt us. Really was the final death blow for us, because the suppliers involved, it would have helped us with what we owed them, and it would have made things a little bit more smooth for us to continue doing work. But after getting the payment skipped, it just made my decision that much more clear for me to suspend all operations.
Wow.
We went with the 1 point.
Okay, real quick. Joe for $2 says, they'll use $2 to identify as 68. Does that count? Well, I counted 2. Thank you for the 2. That means, folks, we're now just $66 away, $66 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Thank you, everybody. Did you address the idiocy of the people who are reading into the so-called merger with Israeli folks? Yeah, we talked about it. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. Israel has some really good, the NDNA stuff. Yeah, we talked about it. Israel has good technology stuff. We want to be working with them. We want to be able to share information. That's all. That's all it is. For R&D, for research and development, I think that's it. CF Rob says, hey, my $2 worth also. Hey, Bella. Yeah, that's right. There is still enough people here. That too, if everybody was to give everybody watching gave $2, we'd have another 4 hours to show. Just saying. We're now 64 away. 64 away from a second additional hour. Thank you so much. So going to make food, I know. Thank you.
0.72 million figure, because it really includes, from a contract standpoint, things that have been accounted for. Between the retention that we were owed, the change orders that were on the log, and the labor overages that I have the receipts for, I thought that that was really a good place and snapshot of where we were at with what was on the contract with Turner Lakeside Alliance. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to pursue the 3.9 million and change that we lost overall. I just felt that at the time it was a more realistic number to go with, and it would also allow us to pay everybody off and to allow the company to recoup a healthy portion of the monies lost. I'm still working with my legal team on that 3.9 million figure, because I feel that it's only right that we still hold ownership at the Presidential Center accountable. We just felt that we have to pick our battles. First things was first was the mechanics lien. But it's become perfectly obvious to me that the ownership group there, they truthfully just, they don't care. I don't know any other way to say it. And maybe if I had known that sooner, I would have put my foot down sooner. But I think a lot of us out there, the main subcontractors, all still had this feeling that it was going to be worked out in the end until it wasn't.
Well, that's what will happen a lot of times. You think it's going to get worked out, but that's why you got to have it in writing, and you got to be prepared to, you got to have lawyers. It's one ugly building. It really is. My favorite prison. It's a friggin' ugly building. Sue for possession of the building, dummy. Yeah, really? Hey, look at this. For the goal, 5 from a collective debt. Thank you so much. With that 5, folks, that means we are now just 59 away. Just 59 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Thank you so much. And then we got 2 from Salty C. Thank you. Here you go. Thank you. That means we're just 57 away, folks. 57 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Thank you. The Israeli agreement in light row is now the same that's been agreed to for decades with our allies. Yeah. It's nothing really. The Weather Underground Building. That's what they should call it. That's really what they should call it. The Weather Underground Building. Or the Weather Overground Building.
This entire process is just, it really drained me out financially and emotionally. I'm not easily surprised, but I'm surprised that nobody politically has stepped up to challenge Turner Construction and Lakeside and ask them what the hell is going on.
Well, part of the reason is who's in charge of the Lakeside Alliance. Isn't Susan Rice? And what's the other broad's name? The one with the glasses, the one that got people in trouble. What the fuck is her name? Damn it, I can't think of her name. The other Obama, they're on the board of Lakeside Alliance in charge. Look at this. We got 7 from Granola. Thank you so much, Granola, for the 7. That means right now we're just 50 away, folks. Just a 50 spot away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Thank you, everybody. Everybody. Thank you so much. Weather on the Ground Building. If you got it, give it. Jim's time is worth it. I'm on Social Security, or I'd give more. Well, thank you. Thank you. Valerie Jarrett. That's right. Valerie Jarrett. That's right. Yeah. They're too busy embezzling the money. I think Valerie Jarrett and Susan Rice, I'm pretty sure, both got like high 6-figure salaries, like $600,000, $700,000 a year salaries from being on Lakeside Alliance. Yeah, it's very Schadenfreude. It really is. It really is Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude. It's very Schadenfreude. It is.
I understand why there's a hesitancy to say that to the foundation, but it would be nice for somebody at the foundation
supposed to be on
to maybe say, listen, we we understand what's going on here, and we're going to make our best efforts to try to get this rectified.
He said it's going to be a late show.
But I haven't heard
probably
any
after
of
midnight.
it. You're getting media throwing bouquets of congratulations and how great it's going to be for everybody. And I have yet to hear anybody speak truth to power, as they love to say publicly. If this was something that a Elon Musk or somebody more locally who has his name on the Museum of Science and Industry right next door, Ken Griffith, it would be holy hell to pay. They would be picketing. They would be storming the castle. I feel like that I have a responsibility to speak out for everybody, especially those that got blindsided or are now bankrupt. This isn't about chasing money. It's about doing what's right. You know, they've basically taken it all away from me at this point. I mean, the only leverage I have now is just to continue speaking out and see where it goes. But, you know, my career, it's funny, I'm going to have to, you know, go find a job, which is fine. You know, it's just, I did not anticipate the completion of this project would take this turn.
What's the best way to grow pineapples? You just stick them in the ground. You put them you just cut the tops off a pineapple. It's super simple, Pancho. I grow pineapples. I got a ton of them growing. I love home. If you live you got to live in unless you have like a greenhouse area or somewhere where you can keep them indoors, because you can't, if they get frozen at all, like any type of frost can kill them. So you don't want, you know, you got to be very careful of that. But they grow, man. They grow like weeds. Like you just cut the top. When you cut a pineapple, you cut the top off the pineapple. You just plant that in the dirt. You know, you put you cover it so that like maybe about this much up the green part, so it's all under dirt, and then it just grows down. And then within 9 months to a year, you'll have one pineapple. And then the following year, if you're able to keep it going and keep it growing, like if you live in somewhere where you got like warm weather where it doesn't freeze, like, you know, Florida, Texas, California, Georgia, Arizona, you know, certain places like that you can leave them year round grow, you'll get 4 or 5 pineapples the next year on that one plant. You know, so, and they just keep growing. And then every time you cut a pineapple, you replant it, and you just keep going and going and going. How much of the pineapple do you leave on, if any? You don't have to leave on very much at all. You just cut the top off, like that little bit of section, and you can scoop out. You just want to leave some of the core on the top because that's where the roots come out of. That's it. That's it. Do they need a lot of water? No, they don't need a lot of water. They do need watering, but not a lot, like once or twice a week. That's it. You don't want too much water will kill the pineapples. They got to have good drainage. Like they should if you can mix like rocks in with the soil, that's good. Like if you have potted plants, like pots, mix like some rocks in with the dirt. That way it gets good drainage. You know, because the water has to drain out. It doesn't need a lot of water. So yeah, so Obama stiffed all these people. This guy got stiffed, and laying off 30 people is something no owner wants to do. So this guy thought it would be a great thing for him to get the job at the Obama Center, and it was probably the biggest mistake. It ruined his company. So breaking overnight in a stunning blow to leftist judges, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals rules that illegal aliens lack constitutional right to be let loose in American communities. Huge win for ICE. Activist judges will not be allowed to block the deportation machine and cause more harm to Americans. Oh, so this is it. So here's the order. It's a pure curiam order. So that's great. You got chief judge. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 judges said, yeah, you can't do this. That's right. Suck it. Suck it, suck it, suck it. Then they got another mayor killed in the lawless Mexico. Ruling party politician had survived the previous assassination attempt. So they're just, they're just wiping them out down there. Probably kind of a sandy loam with bark chips that might be soil in Hawaii. Yeah, something like that would work. Sure. But yeah, I mean, you could do straight dirt and pots. You know, I put like some rocks in the bottom of the pot and then put dirt on top of it so it gets good drainage. That's it. You know, And you just have too much water. You could tell if the leaves, the edges of the leaves start turning brown, just the tips of the leaves start turning brown, green and then just brown, it means they're getting too much water. If the leaves are like as the leaves get old, the whole leaves turn brown at the same time, And then you don't want to let the pineapples completely turn yellow, like completely ripen. It'll turn from a green, they'll start getting yellow. Like you get a little bit of yellow around it. That's when you want to pick it. They taste so good. They're sweet. They're not sour. You know what I mean? They're not like sour in the acidity. They're very good. People got played by the Democrat machine. Obama stiffing someone does not have the meaning you think. Yeah, he likes to. He usually takes it. Doesn't? He's usually a catcher, not a pitcher. Mayor Valentin Lavin was gunned down inside the city hall. Security situation is deteriorating in Mexico. Since Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum took office in October 2024, 16 mayors have been assassinated. It was 120 degrees here today. It's foul. You should show a pineapple you've grown, pretty please. Okay, hold on a second. Let me do this. Let me play this real quick. The media assets. I'll play something. I'll play this.
Please press the like button for Bella. I would really appreciate it. Thanks for your support. Please press the like button for Bella. I would really appreciate it. Thanks for your support. Please press the like button for Bella. I would really appreciate it. Thanks for your support. Please press the like button for Bella. I would really appreciate it. Thanks for your support. Please press the like button for Bella. I would really appreciate it. Thanks for your support. Please.
All right. Sorry, hold on. I had to go grab one. I had one that fell off that the wind was in a pot on my dock, and the wind got pretty bad the other day, so it blew it off. So I had to take it. It's not really ripe yet. You can see it started turning ripe a little bit there, but so I'm just letting it sit. It's going to get like a nice yellow, and it'll ripen up. It doesn't have to be on the in it. How big of a pot? What is it like? Enough for like 2 bags of dirt. So yeah, see. That's just and then you just like this part right here, you just cut just a little bit of this green here, so that's got the stuff, and it'll root out, and then basically another pineapple will come right out of the top of this one. They just keep going like a 5-gallon pot. It's something that's good enough, good enough size, Yeah. See, so you can see it started turning, but the wind blew it and snapped it, because they'll grow and they'll have a stalk coming out of the bottom. So it just it snapped off. So I had to take it. But yeah, they taste great. 2-bag dirt, Mary Jane pot plant. Yeah. You grew them in Connecticut, bought them into sunny window in the winter, got good foliage but small fruit. Second year, I put them in a 5-gallon pail. Yeah. How many pineapples will one cut pineapple grow? Okay. It depends. Like the first year, you're probably only gonna get it one after you plant it. So it takes like 9 months to a year for you to get the first one out of that. But then the next year, they get pups. As that first plant's growing, they're going to get other pups coming out. Each pup that comes out will grow another pineapple. And they'll just they spread like weeds. A 5-gallon pot is like a Lowe's or Walmart bucket. I have a bigger pot, basically like two large bags of dirt in each pot. So whatever that is, like 20-pound bags of dirt, I think. So 40 pounds of dirt, basically, which is I think they're 5 cubic. What does it say? I don't know. I'd have to look. They're not You know, they're decent sized pots. They're decent sized pots. Is that a real pineapple? Yeah. Bella has such a sweet voice. Yeah, she's great, isn't she? Pup shoots. Yeah, the pup shoots off the bottom, like after the pineapple, and each pup will make a new pineapple, basically. So yeah, so these mayors that keep getting killed. In the latest chapter of the horrific saga, a small town mayor in Central Mexico was shot dead inside of the town hall. I wouldn't buy a Walmart bucket again, or Lowe's bucket. They don't last long. Yeah, you can grow them in buckets, but I like the pots to be a little wider. That way, you know, like it's like a, I don't know. I would go like, they take 9 months each plant. No, it takes about 9 months for you to have the first pineapple on the first one. Then within 9 months, you'll have 4 or 5 again. So 1 yard of dirt is like 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot. So so I think it's like, what is a bag of dirt? Like it's a bag of dirt like 1.5 cubic feet of dirt or something like that. It's not a yard of dirt. It's like cubic feet is what they say in the bags. So yeah, you need a wider pot so it can grow pups. Yeah, you need a wider pot so that way the pups will grow. You want it can be skinny on the bottom, but you want it to be wide. You want it to be like, you know, the pot to be like this wide, the pot. All right, on the top. That way more pups can grow. You can get more pineapples on it. Like I got plants that have 6 pineapples on it. 0.5 cubic foot. So yeah, so 2 bags. So you need like a cubic. Yeah. There are wine barrels planters at Sam's for $14. They're nice looking, very sturdy. Yeah, those would work great. Yeah, like I said, my pots have 2 bags, 2 of the larger bags, not the small bags, still not the huge bags of dirt, but like the large bags. I think they're 20 pounds or 30 pounds of dirt, maybe 4. I don't think they're not 40. I don't think so, but I don't know. It's not showing. It doesn't really show anything. So. Like, no big deal. Like, okay. They don't really. The town of Tamoac is located in the state of Morelos region close to Mexico City. Mayor was allied to Scheinbaum's leftist party, already survived an attack. Forensic experts say the body was located inside the government facilities. People brought flowers in honor. So, yeah. And then we talked about this, I think it was last week. Mexico's first openly gay mayor was slain in Guadalajara. So they're just whacking out politicians in Mexico, just whacking them out. You could probably start 3 in a barrel. Yeah, you can start, like, I have multiple plants, because also, like, if this is the thing too, if you're growing them, and then if a pup comes out like this out of the bottom underneath the pineapple, and then it gets a pineapple on it, and the weight like causes it to break, you got to watch it, because once the bottom separates from the main stalk, you got to plant it in something else. Otherwise, it's not going to grow anymore. And you got to do it fast, because once that end dries out, it's not going to do anything. You know, and anytime, just remember, anytime with any of them, if you can't plant it right away, like the tops or any pups, you could break pups off and spread them, and they'll create more plants. And you could basically create a bunch of more plants. You have to keep it moist. It has to be in water until you get it planted in the dirt. It can't dry out. If it dries out, it's not going to grow. The cartel is alive and well in Mexico. Yes. So ICE arrests Ecuadorian illegal alien boarding. Oh, we saw this already. Oh, this is one we didn't see. Can't believe I screwed that up again. ICE arrests Southwest Airlines flight attendant while at work. Jamaican illegal alien overstayed a visa since 2021. what growing zone are you in? I'm 9B and it will freeze here. I'm in Southwest Florida. SWFL, Southwest Florida. So it doesn't really freeze here. We might occasionally we get like where it might get into the 40s, or it might get for a few minutes. It might get, for a month or so. But generally speaking, I'll pull them in close to the house so that they'll stay warm, or cover them with a sheet overnight. So yeah, this guy right here, illegal alien. ICE officers arrested a Southwest Airlines flight attendant who's a Jamaican illegal alien. Lorenzo Enzo Thompson was taken into custody by New Orleans Enforcement and Removal Operations at Nashville Airport on July 14th. According to Fox News, Bill Malugin, citing Homeland Security, he's a Jamaican national who entered the United States lawfully in 2021 at the Miami port of entry on a visa that authorized him to stay 6 months. That authorization expired in 2021. He never left. How was he working? He clearly didn't have authorization to work. Oh, member Enzo was arrested despite having no criminal record. He followed every legal step towards citizenship. He had a valid work visa and was dedicated flight attendant. He did not have a work visa. If he just had a 6-month visa to come and visit, he did not have a work visa. So nearly 5 years he remained in the country illegally, secured employment as a flight attendant, and continued working in a position that places him in a cabin with American passengers. The union, which represents 21,000 employees, immediately circled the wagons. Our priorities always be standing with supporting our members. They continue to monitor the situation. So left-wing advocacy groups at the Labor Council for Latin America quickly launched a GoFundMe and claiming that he has no criminal record and holds a valid work visa and followed every step. DHS records tell a different story. He said he was detained despite having no criminal record, following every step. Today we stand with our brothers. So yeah, no, he was here illegally. He didn't have a work visa. How did he get a job? What did he use? Fraudulent documents? Is that what we're going to find out? Use fraudulent documents? I think it's possible. I think it's quite possible. I think it's quite possible. Using fraudulent documents is one way to stay. Elon Musk destroys The Economist editor for smearing normal people as far right. More people hate you in the media than you realize. I played some of these at the beginning of the show. So Tesla CEO, SpaceX CEO Elon Musk basically slammed the Economist editor-in-chief Zanny Minton Beatos in a fiery exchange. And Musk says, no, I support normal people, what you call the far right falsely. He then challenged him to explain which is his supposedly extreme principles. Here are my principles, and tell me which sound terrible. That we should have secure borders, that we should have safe cities, that we should have sensible spending. Which of those are far right? Of course, the reporter could not identify those basic principles. Musk then looked directly in the camera and delivered a rebuke.
Support the normal people.
Okay.
What do you call the far right? Falsely.
You think is the normal person. Okay.
Yes. Literally, you could go back 10 or 15 years, and these policies were completely normal. In fact, one of the tricks that I think is funny. One thing that's quite funny is to take a speech from Obama and Hillary, and then go to someone and say, who's sort of on the sort of what I call the lunatic left, and say, what do you think of the speech by Trump? I'm like, oh wow, he's the worst person ever. Actually, that was a speech by Obama, or actually, that was a speech by Hillary.
I agree. No, I agree that the center of gravity in this country has shifted. Certainly, the Democratic Party shifted to the left, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people like Rupert Lowe. I'm talking
right,
about
please.
people.
It's actually just normal people. It's just normal people. It's just normal people, and and here are the principles. And tell me which of these sound terrible. That we should have secure borders. That we should have safe cities. That we should have sensible spending. Which of those three are far right fringe? And I would like to just admonish you and the media for the absurd characterization of the far right. It is false and misleading and nonsense. Please keep this part in.
We'll keep all of this in.
Yeah, good, Elon, good. Palm trees are actually grass. I I have one growing in a smallish tote. I didn't know the potting soil had to be sterilized. I don't think it has to be sterilized. Who said that? I don't know. I've planted pineapples in soil that I had tomatoes in, that I've had cucumbers in, that I've had other stuff, okra in. I've reused the soil basically after I use soil for my tomatoes, cucumbers, okra, pepper, stuff like that. Once the soil gets a little too rooty and stuff, I'll take that soil and then plant the pineapples in it. It grows fine. Pineapples will grow in just about anything. It seems like to me. That's been my observation, that they'll grow just about anything. So, liberal white women, some people loathe you. Do you understand why? Oh, this is good.
Why people loathe you? I mean, some people do loathe you.
Yes, some people do.
But do you understand why? Do you think what you're doing is helpful for Western democracy?
Maybe some people do loathe me. And that's probably true. I don't care. But the fact that, as you pointed out, 250 million people follow me is that I think a lot more people actually like me than don't. And I think a lot more people hate you and the media more than you realize.
Got him. I have a bird of paradise. I have to wrap in a blanket and a tarp and put a huge garbage bag over it. It's so attractive, but it's usually for 3-4 days. Yeah, I mean, it maybe once or twice, just for one night, I have to do something. But like I said, if I pull them close to the house, then the heat from the house will keep them fine. You know what I mean? Because the house, the brick, whatever you want to call it, it's all brick and stuff like that. And then the pavers and stuff all hold heat. So it'll keep it warm. That's your comeback. Yeah, that's right. Finding out weeds are some of the most beneficial things to eat. Yeah. Elon is big balls. He is. Yeah, the root system is all new every 2 years in a palm. Them things are amazing. Some tall grass. Yeah, I have palm trees too. So this says the U.S. is using British bases of Fairford and Diego Garcia for defensive strikes on Iran, and surprising policy decision by new prime minister. When I planted it, my house was filled with fruit flies. Well, you can get fruit flies and stuff like that, but you have to, that's usually coming from the dirt from the store, not from the plants themselves. But you get a lot more fruit flies from your drains than anything else. You should be treating your drains, all your drains in your house, your sinks, your toilets, your shower, your everything with there's like an enzyme stuff. It's like a powder enzyme you mix with warm water and pour it down there, and it kills the stuff that's growing in your pipes. That's where the fruit flies come from. It's from the stuff's growing in your pipes, usually in your house, more than anything else. And they smell the stuff. They come out of your pipes to get the plant stuff and the things around your house. But that's where those fruit flies come from. How many pineapples are you growing right now? Right now, I have currently 9 pineapples that are on plants that have, but I've already picked like 30 this year. So I've already picked like 30 pineapples this year. Sent a bunch away, given a bunch away, stuff like that. But I have, by next year, I'll probably have 50 or 60 pineapples. And I started planting them like around my house in the rocks around the house. I dug a little hole, put them in the rocks basically. So I have them spread out in the rocks. They're the B1 Lancers. So as U.S. attacks on Iran continue for a 12th day, a surprising continuation of policy has taken place. The new prime minister allows the use of UK bases for military U.S. airplanes. Yes, they've been a problem at the brewery. We always treat the drains. Yes, that's where they grow. There's like stuff that grows in the drains, and you have to put the stuff in. It basically kills that stuff and gets rid of it, and then you don't have fruit flies. That's where they come from. Today, 23, it arises that U.S. deployed a B-1 bomber from a British base. First such mission. Open a fruit stand. Yeah, the drains are the breeding grounds for the fruit drain flies. Yeah. So in Burnham's second day as UK Prime Minister, he helped the U.S. bomb Iran. Andy Berman let Trump use UK bases to bomb Iran again.
We're able to see bombs being loaded onto B-1 aircraft. The engines keep powering up, and we think they're going to take off shortly to go and bomb Iran.
We filmed these B-1 bombers back in March, and now they're bombing Iran again. Andy Burnham promised to be different from Keir Starmer, but this has happened just days after he's become Prime Minister. Here's our report from the height of the Iran war.
We've come to RAF Fairford in Gloucestershire. It's about a 2-hour drive west of London to look at this fleet of American warplanes that are being allowed to take off every day to bomb Iran. So what's really going on, and who's telling the truth about the extent of Britain's involvement in this illegal war? Last week, people were able to film straight through the fence below me. But the authorities here at this American base have put up these tarpaulins to try and block people from filming. And it seems like they have things to hide. Bombs are being loaded onto the B-1 planes that are going to bomb Iran. And there are 2 trolleys of bombs laid out in front of the aircraft. Each trolley has a...
I'm surprised the British have the British police haven't arrested these guys. They don't have the freedom to do what they're doing in Britain. They're actually using equipment to get over the fence to see what's happening inside a classified base. They should be arrested.
About 4 bombs on. And these are 2,000-pound bombs in weight, which can do a huge amount of damage to targets that they hit.
It's the BBC,
the Ministry of Defense won't tell us if it's monitoring how many civilian casualties are caused by these US bombing missions.
Oh, look at the civilian casualties. These fucking scumbags. Fuck you, scum. Multiple B-1 Lancers departed UK after Trump threatened to strike. Damn. Get her done. Get her done. So, Iran says the UK's decision to allow the US to use British bases could constitute participation in an act of aggression. Yeah. They're gonna bomb the UK now. They're gonna bomb the UK. They warned Britain not to further worsen its record. Yes. No. Boop, 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 boop. Iran fires ballistic missiles at Diego Garcia mere hours after Starmer authorizes use of British air bases. Oh, well. Oh, well. Oh, well. Anyway, B-1B, that's not good for whoever they're going after. You ain't kidding, right? Isn't that espionage? It sounds like it to me. Jim tells you how to grow pineapples. Yes, he does. What's the definition of an illegal war? They just call anything an illegal war that they don't like. It's any war that they don't like. It's a war they don't like. That's all. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's a war they don't like. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. All righty. Well, unfortunately, we didn't hit the goal. We've gone 3 hours and 40 minutes, and we are still $50 away from a second hour. So I think that's going to be it this evening. If you guys are still up and around later, check out Good Logic's channel. I will be on with Good Logic whenever he decides to stream. If it's going to be midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever, he'll let me know, and I'll be there. So otherwise, tomorrow, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, please come back for Jim to tell you the news. I'm going to send you guys over on YouTube to Pat Dixon's show. Or covering some weird stuff. That's about the only person I've seen streaming. And on Rumble, you're going to go over to Third Railify. So I want to thank everybody. See you later on Good Logic Show or tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Come back for Jim. Oh, hold on. My bad. I didn't do this. I got to set it up. Doop. My bad. I screwed it up. 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 Anyway, here we go. Come back tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Yes, thank you. Good night. God bless. Yes, good night. Come back for Jim to tell you the news.